combo.
That's true. Yeah,
PA.
the PA as well. That's true. That's true. Also, I muddled up my my pick order, but it's fine. It happens. We'll
Why?
see. Viking has the ban. Well, because I muddled up who was picking after the ban. I was just being a silly Billy, as
It's
you do.
all good.
Thank you, yeah.
What we do know is Viking is, or banning rather, their last hero.
Yes.
And I think, just to be sure, you should ban the PA. I feel like that's
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? That's the play, though. You know, you ban the Viper.
Want you to do.
Exactly.
Oh.
So instead, they give both up available. Ooh, Spectre or the PA. What's going to happen? They go for an Earth Spirit. Whoa! Spin it round. They're just going for something completely different. I don't know why I got so animated over an Earth Spirit.
I mean, that's an Earth Spirit probably for Thompson, surely. Yes, I know Saxa can do it, but it's the Thompson special. Like,
yeah. Just put it on mid. To be clear,
this is,
the mid.
you know, game one of your TI qualifiers. OG is a team that has done this before. They have gone through qualifiers before. Actually, they knocked out Saxa and Kezu from the qualifiers in TI8, which, by the way, at that point we're on the same team. So you know, there's some history there.
Bad blood.
Saxa and Cello, yeah, I believe, actually. But bad blood. No, I don't think so. But
no, that's not.
I mean, you gotta open with what you are strong with in series style. So in terms of tops and Earth Spirit, I'm all for it.
No, I like that. Like, and they go for the brute. Ooh, sprinkle of the. But yeah, I think first of all, let's touch on OG's style of draft right now. It is going to be this mid Earth Spirit. They are going to be playing off the fact that he does immense amount of right click with the talent, the damage talent. You get the empower as well. He's going to be able to execute these heroes, and he gets tanky so quick. So that alone, OG is going to be up in your face. That's why they go for this kind of brood style, because of course, brood in laning phase, he can overwhelm this tower, and OG now has to react a lot to this brood presence. Like, are they going to be killing him, defending towers? They can't just simply run across the map. If they do that, they're losing 2 towers. So I understand Viking's response to the brood. It's about defend through aggression, or at least kind of positional aggression. But yeah, like OG's lineup is pretty scary, and it is the carry axe that we haven't mentioned yet either.
Yeah, Shad will indeed be playing that axe. I can't wait to see this game play out. Do you want to make a quick prediction for this game one?
Shiva, predicting Europe. So I don't. If I predict OG, you're an OG fanboy. If you predict,
yes,
you know. Okay, no, okay.
Are you an OG hater or OG fanboy? That seems to be the
my
thing.
boy Kezu on his group, he had last pick. This is the game for him to, you know, do that Kezu magic. So I'm going to go with a Kezu for why not Viking.
All right, well, let's find out what's going to happen in this first game of the best of 3. We're going to find out together with Odie Pixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 1 of this OG versus Viking. Fogs. We have a last pick brood here coming out on a scary brood player. Kezu getting it here for Viking. How scared of it are you here? Do you think if you're OG, or if you're OG, you say, hey, look at our heroes. We're going to run at them. We're going to bring the action. We're going to be able to squash the brood. You know, what way is this one going to go in your mind?
I just want to see how teams, if there's going to be an over-adaptation from OG, or if they're just going to play their own style and just let Kezu have his own game and then just dominate the rest of the map, because it is a very, very aggressive lineup, like you're saying. Lash, we've got a lot of early aggro, not a lot of really like cooldown-based things. It's like really just the RP from OG, so this is exciting. And I think we have to say it, you know, this Earth Spirit, Thompson, he's been a huge fan of these Echo Saber mid laners lately. I know people probably inside of those pubs doing it, so I'm just excited to see this constant battles, because this looks like super fight-heavy lineup from OG.
No, absolutely. You know, I think from both sides as well, Viking, they're going to be pretty happy to meet the action, at least with, maybe not quite as soon and as early as OG, but if they're able to hit those timings, get those good 6s on the supports, they are going to have the ways to initiate, to break in, to counter what OG's going to try and throw at them. You know, heroes like Axe, Clockwork, they are going to be able to deal with heroes collapsing in on top of them and offer the ability to turn things around, split them up, set up for the big combos that are going to come crashing in from the Invoker and the AA.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of information game. That's the thing that I'm looking at for Viking, is finding these backlines, finding these squishy heroes, bypassing the Magnus and the Earth Spirit, which they absolutely can do, right? You've got Clockwork, you got Spiders, you got even an AA Blast coming over the top. You have a lot of different ways to scout. Even Boom, you know, Invoker, he can get into those backlines with his Ghost Walk, since he's very likely to go Quas Wex, because that's what you have to do now every single time as Invoker. So yeah, this could be a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, and I guess you've got to imagine with Thompson getting that Earth Spirit in as the last pick,
yeah,
this is going to be a mid matchup that he feels pretty confident in. Playing against the Invoker, should be able to have a fine old time in them at 1v1.
Yep. You can't put that much harassment onto the Invoker, unfortunately, but you're going to free farm as the Source Spirit, and you have better rune control. So you're going to get that bottle. Invoker's not going to get bottle. It's going to be up to the Viking supports to really check out the runes in mid to help out Boom so that Thompson doesn't get some like crazy strong power rune at that 6-minute mark.
See top, Aramis. They're going to have a bit of a chase on to the clockwork here. See if they're going to have enough for this. They will have another Fortune's End in a few seconds from NoTail. Get up to the high ground in time. Now NoTail will be able to get the cast off. Decent root duration. Sumail, is he in range for the stun? Can't quite close the gap. Won't be able to close in on time. The root at this level, of course, not lasting quite long enough. Aramis will make it back to base, and we'll start to see the lanes take form. Top lane against Kezu's Brood, it will be NoTail on the Oracle supporting Mel's Leshrac. Over in the mid, of course, Boom's Invoker against Thompson's Spirit. And then down on the bottom half of the map, you'll have Sagsa laning here with Seb as this Lina Magnus duo against, of course, the safe lane axe from Shad. They'll have the backup of Celery in this lane. I mean, looking at some of these side lanes, who's going to struggle, Fogged? Who's going to have a rough time here on the first few waves?
I think it still just might be Shad bottom. Even though we've seen these axes do very well, this is a very strong lane. It's Magnus, Lina, two of the strongest offlane heroes, the 3-4 combo. High burst, high physical damage. You have pretty much everything there. So I think that's probably the lane I'm looking at to suffer the most. I think Sumail should be pretty okay up top. The Clockwork has a pretty tough time. Aramis, I think, actually putting pressure onto Leshrac and Oracle as these two wrist heroes. He's just going to have to cut and find his own game. Overall in the game, it's a pretty good Clockwork game, but in laning phase, it's going to be a slow start.
He gets those few levels. A big part of his movements are going to be matching that of Thompson's once the laning stage starts coming to an end and Thompson gets aggressive across the map. It's going to be very important where the clock is to try and punish Thompson for the aggressive moves you know that he's going to want to make on his mid-earth Spirit.
There's a lot of fun moves you can make. Like versus Lina, just getting on Lina is always great, but just catching into Magnus a lot of times, you know, you throw yourself into Skewer so you can mess with the combo so many different. We'll have to watch Aramis, who and when he can find them. Looking at last hits right now, it's looking pretty solid, the setups for OG, as we're kind of saying, like these lanes look really...
Mid lane in particular, the 1v1 heads up. Thompson 9 for 3 against the 4 for 0. It's going to be a slow start on the early levels as the Invoker in the matchup. Receiving at once, Boom, he's got a few points in the combo. If it's going to be enough to sort of keep Thompson on his toes, bottom lane, skewer back onto Shad. Seb, he's coming of a shockwave in a second, but Shad quick enough to get himself away and into... CS-wise down here again, as you say, sort of across the board. OG just having the favourable time on these first few waves. The Seb also taking a good lead against Shad. Actually getting the setup here onto Celery with the shockwave. Kezu will actually end up getting first blood up top, as they don't have enough damage to kill Celery off bottom. So Kezu finding NoTail slightly out of position. And of course, as expected, tips coming out already. We're going to see some pretty top-tier tipping game coming out from both sides in this series. Bottom lane, again. Another attempt. This time they'll be able to get the grab onto the bigger one. They get Shad. Seb with a shockwave skewer back. There's enough control and damage to bring the axe out of the bottom lane.
I gotta be honest, I'm pretty astonished that NoTail died top. I thought their lanes were super like easy to not get killed in, and they just have a very good aggressive lineup for bottom. So I mean this is gonna be a really slow start for Viking. Like I don't know what Shad's even supposed to do. These double nukes that come out, you're also not that tanky because he went for Magic Stick level 1 rather than going for the Ring of Protection on the axe. So these right clicks, they add up quickly. Lina's gonna constantly be beating on you. They've got Bassi for the spam too on OG. This is not easy for Viking whatsoever. We're seeing mid also, it's not getting better either. Thompson having an excellent time. He's got the runes to work with. Boom. It's, I mean, very slowly recovering, but all three lanes going OG favor.
Yeah, even this top lane, regardless of the kill on NoTail, Sumail just having complete lane control, heavy amount of denies. It's not going to be a quick and easy start for Kezu on the off-lane Brood. So, definitely a bit of a hole in this early game that Viking will have to dig themselves out.
Yeah, and it's some of the times where your carry is annoyed when he's laning versus a hero like Bruno, right? Because that annoying stun ball is going to be frustrating you, this miss chance constantly. What's the last track? You're never going to be missing. You're never actually really having to deal with the problem of this Silken Bola that can be frustrated as a carry. So I feel like this pick was like a gotcha. You know, this last track Oracle carry lane. Now you're playing versus a Brewer and a Clockwork, where they thrive versus playing versus melee carries, and now they're just a ranged semi-carry kind of stuff. This is a really good approach by OG.
And to the point, when they picked the bridge, they did imagine the lanes as this was, like Kezu knew that he would be laning into a side lane there.
I think you should have known that they were going to switch it up. Like, when does Topson play Lina? You know, like, I was looking, I was like, no way Topson's playing this Lina. Like, this is a Soxa Seb lane for sure. They're going to pick something out of the ordinary for mid lane for Topson, and that's exactly what happened. Like, you have to expect that, too, that Viking knew that was going to be coming, but this is what they decided to go with. And, I mean, look at Shad. Like, he's getting, like, almost nothing down bottom.
It's such a tough lane. It really is. You said on paper, you're just Magnus, Lina, you're not going to have a lot of fun against it. You know, Seb and Saxa very well versed in playing this duo as a combo. So, just, yeah, Shad's going to have to play the catch-up game. And
exactly.
You've got to look at the other cores, a Brood and an Invoker. You've got to ask yourself, are these other cores that are going to allow your safe lane to have the time and space to recover? You know, what can they do on their own to make the time happen for Shad to get his first few items online?
They better have some crazy stacks prepared. I see Aramis has gotten some done at the Ancients, but might not be enough of Shad. Does get the call on Soxa, Cold Feet procs.
Soxa still got to verify that he's holding on to as well. They're able to set up here with a done onto Celery, but they'll play it cool. Saxa.
The rocket's coming.
Oh, off the mark.
He tried.
Saxa's going to be fine.
Good attempt. Aramis looking to set up for that 6-minute rune. Topson, empty bottle.
He might be able to set up onto Topson himself.
Yep.
He's coming in on the mid. Topson rather low. And he'll drop the Magnetize, try to look for the rollout, but the Battery Assault's there from Aramis. Topson up to the high ground, pops the stick charges. He's not getting away though. Aramis having enough damage and control to bring down the Earth Spirit. A very important gank to be made there. Same time over in the jungle. Saxa, he gets and chases down Celery deep into his own half of the map. And Saxa will be able to get the kill and get out. But that mid lane, a big catch there for Viking. They had to keep control of Topson somehow, slow down his free farm that he has been getting up until now. 40 CS, of course, on that mid lane Spirit.
Huge. They get the Earn Charge too for Boom. He's got an Arcane Rune. He has to get his mana back, but he could look to make moves around the map. And I think they've got to start breaking lanes. I don't think you can just stick with the way that it's been. So we do see AA make the way top. Shad getting closer to Vanguard. Sticking down bottom by himself. Probably going to make the move to top to go for those stacks soon, too. Kezu almost 6. Aramis waiting in the wings right here.
Samael stepping up a little bit, but Aramis, he's looking to get on top of Notel instead. Closes the gap straight away onto the Oracle. Notel, he got to keep himself safe a little bit with the Fade's Edict. Aramis able to block him off enough for the Cold Feet to kick in. Aramis, he's going to continue to sort of bait them away. They're not going to be able to kill Notel or Samael. Maybe Kezu can actually. He's in onto the Oracle as he got enough control and damage. Notel, a quick route actually holds back Kezu long enough to allow Notel to separate himself from the two, and Notel will survive.
Wow, I can't believe Notel gets away with that one there. Kezu was so close to getting the 6. He was finishing up the creep wave, but not quite there in time to get the backup to get that kill. Looking at lane still. OG about 2K gold lead coming out of this one here. With I think that's to be expected with the way that the setups have gone here. So I don't think Viking can be too fussed about it, because that's just the way it's going to be with the way that it's gone. And now Kezu's able to apply his pressure top. Gonna go for the pipe build as expected versus Leshrac. The Earth Spirit core.
Samael still feeling confident enough to come back into the lane.
Yep.
And
Same
hold
build
on to this tower.
Yeah, we're going to see the same build that we've seen him do when he was on Liquid, when they pair it with the Oracle, that Eternal Shroud early on. Very effective.
In the mid lane, we see, just with the EMPs here from Boom, just leaving Topson in a state that doesn't allow him to get maybe as active as he wants to, with this consistent harassment of the mana drain, the EMP.
Yeah. And he's going to do the same build that we did mention that he loves. It's got to be the Echo Saber, get that big damage talent at 10-2. It's actually really nice on Earth Spirit. It's something that's been underlooked at for a long time here. See if it does work out this game for them, because laning phase looks great, but Viking, they're going to start getting some momentum here with Kezu very soon. Both supports playing around him. That does mean that they're going to be a bit under-leveled here. Celery, level 4, and he's got good levels, but Aramis, he's not even level 4 on this Clockwork yet.
His levels definitely quite important when you consider how much sort of the trio really needs to achieve now. Aramis, Celery, and Boom. These three have got to be looking for the setups for the kills. Boom, he's making his way up top. He's ready for the setup. It's a beautiful angle here with Tornado EMP down onto the two of them. They take down Notel. Samael out of mana. Boom with a beautiful rotation up top, lines it up perfectly, and wipes OG out of the top lane.
Very nice early move. And they know that, I mean, with these early moves, it's actually going to close that gap after the laning phase completely here, because they're not killing Shad. He's sitting at his tower. He's got his Vanguard. So, yeah, these moves are working out here for Viking. 4-2 now. OG looking to strike back.
Looking for Shad. Shad. Play it safe underneath the tower. Will show himself. Thompson sees an opportunity to dive in and set up for this. Already starting here with the shockwave into Light Strike Array. RP dropped down as well. It's the carry. They'll throw everything down onto Shad. Shad, he's got nothing to offer in return. He'll get a few spins and a call off. He'll still end up going down here to the aggression of OG. Same time up top. Sumail also receiving a similar bit of aggression from Viking. As they dive in, they take down the Leshrac. They can continue to put the pressure onto this tier 1 tower top. Once again, Boom getting involved, enabling his side lanes, and just pulling together the resources to make sure that even with the fact that they didn't get quite as much as OG out of the laning stage, they've still got the tools to get these objectives taken down.
And I loved what he did there too. So we see that sentry ward on the side of OG. I placed up toward near the tier 2. They actually got a D ward, but what that ward did is it scouted out the TP from the Oracle, knowing that there's going to be a follow-up TP on the front. So Boom, he leaves mid, TP's top to make that move to set up so that they can go for this tower push. Because I think they also knew that Shad was getting ganked, but they just accepted it. They're like, whatever, Axe is going to die. Let's make our own hit at the same time, and they did. So they get that successful push top, and now they swing over to the mid lane to defend. While we do see OG, they're going to look to hit the bottom tower as well, so they can get that space. The Leshrac's making the move down with level 3 Edict. It's going to die in no time. Boom does not have a TP to defend in the bottom tower either. OG should be able to just finish that one off. They're pinging it like they want to defend, though.
It'll be a hard defense to make. I mean, maybe because Aramis is 6, they do have the potential to more aggressively set up for the counter plays. It's already gone. They're looking towards mid instead. Boom. Pushing in. So, the all-important ultimates now ready on Aramis and Celery. They've got a huge combo to blow up any member of OG, really, if they can land that hook shot on Ice Blast.
Structures are fortified.
Kazu starting to bully the support. Saksa.
Oh, cracking shot there from Celery. There's the tips. They're going over to Seb because why not? There we have it. Celery, he's feeling good about that. Beautiful shot.
Immediate pushing coming out from Sumail in the bottom lane. Magnus farming inside jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
Thompson has his echo done. So he looks like he's going to be that, they don't have that right clicker with Empower from your traditional carry sense, but hey, Earth Spirit, he packs a punch on it. With the damage
60
down,
damage,
plus,
it's a lot.
plus, dude, with the Empower, man, I'm looking forward to see what potential it's got.
Yeah. I mean, like whatever hero in the game has a damage talent that's close to that at level 10, right? There's some like Kunkka has like a plus 30 or something, maybe
Lion
plus
has the
20.
70, right? At 10,
Oh, he has it.
but he's not a carry, but that's literally the only other one that's that high at 10.
Sure. But on melee heroes, this
on
is probably
melee,
the highest.
that's gotta be the
60
highest,
damage. Yeah. That's... I mean, how much would 60 damage set you back if you're looking at items? Demoness, that's 40 damage, that's 2,200. It's a relic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's effectively, that's much bigger value than many of the level 7 talents in the game. When you look at sort of just straight up value.
Look at Thompson's damage. Yeah, look at that. He's got like 200. Well, it doesn't, Tooltips doesn't show it, of course, but he's got plus 117.
We got smoke up from OG. They try and look to lead in here. Thompson with the level 10 that we're talking about. He's ready to punch.
And Shad's still just farming Ancients, so he's fine. He's still getting like well and truly enabled here. Celery, he's gonna be the one who's found, but I think that's just fine. That's your 5.
True Shad, yeah. Space is certainly being made for him. Yep, he's getting on track with the Vanguard into Manta. He needs time, he's getting it. Kezu's starting to take good control of the OG jungle. They're going to get the lead in, look towards Boom. Hot shot actually off the mark. Light strike array from Saxon comes crashing down with the Invoker. Boom still trying his best to get out of there. He's actually going to be able to break away from it all. Aramis is in with the battery assault. Stops Thompson from being able to pull up with any further rolling boulders. They'll turn towards Aramis instead. But Aramis going down. It's given time and space for Boom to get away from the rest. The full 5-man here now of OG that's looking to bring the action.
Thompson's in again anyway. Deep ward.
Fine Celery. Get the blast out though. Thompson, he's trying to roll away. Now they've got the control here with the call. Still, OG there able to outnumber Viking. Thompson, he's diving in further. He's feeling strong and empowered here from the backup. No-tail with a false promise. Another roll away. OG now deciding to start backing up as the respawn started coming to play, but Thompson, he took too much damage through the false promise. He ends up going down anyway. Now Kezu, he's in with the spiders. He's blocking off the escape. Saxa struggling to get himself around the spiderlings, and he can't escape. Shad closes in with the dog. He's got the cool control on the Sumail. Shad, he's going to be able to have another dunk in a second. There it is. Double kill for Shad. No-tail caught in the cogs. Viking They're having none of this aggression from OG as they hit back way harder than OG was coming in with themselves, you know, diving towards this tier 2. Incredible amount of aggression from Topson, too much aggression as that hurts OG big time there. Big step up for Viking.
Topson is a literal madman. Diving into tier 2, he gave away his team's ward with that. It gets instant dewarded, and then they just, I mean, that's such an over chase there. He gets vesseled. There's no healing coming out. That was a bit strange coming out from OG, but Viking, they show up with numbers. They fight back, and now Shad all the way at the top. Pretty much got the Manta done. OG, they do have these huge stacks now to go back and work on, but that was quite an overextension that Viking's going to be very happy about.
Absolutely. Now we see Topson straight up, you know, needs that BKB next up. He has it queued. Just something to allow him to get away with those sort of moves. You know that OG is going to be making them, especially when you see a draft like this. That doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to work out. Viking, you know, they knew what they were signing up for here when they came into this first series against OG. And with the moves and reactions like that around the tier 2s, you know, they know exactly what OG is going to be bringing towards them. And they're showing that they do have answers for it.
Dire should look to their
And they're already starting to get their own tier 2. Like this tower's dead. Kez is going to finish this off, and then they have outpost control, so they're going to start denying some good XP from OG. OG is going to have to look to make their own move. They're already pinging down toward this bottom tower, and they can push very fast tier 2, but again, well, I got to watch out for these overextensions. A couple more of those, and Viking's going to be just in a pretty damn good spot this game to control map. And they do scale very hard. Sure, this Earth Spirit has good damage, but...
Aramis! He's going to be able to find the angle onto Seb. Seb, he can't get back onto his side of the map in time. Zaramis catches him out. Viking picking up another, now starting to build up that net worth lead for themselves as that laning stage where OG were able to have the security, the advantage with the matchups. It's starting to become a bit of a distant memory now. Viking, they're bringing in the stronger plays.
Absolutely, and even though, you know, like I was mentioning, the Earth Spirit, he gets all this high damage and scaling potential and all that, I think we've seen really displayed by LGD that Axe is gonna outscale. He's gonna get to a point where he's just gonna start killing everybody on your team and just cutting the waves and making the game impossible. So OG can't make too many more slip-ups, it feels like.
Have the Ice Blast in onto No-Tail. OG. They're ready to back up their Oracle. In fact, Topson, he's ready to charge straight in. He's in with the silence onto Boom. Spirit Vessel's going to be laid down onto Topson. Aramis popping out the cooks to try and split up the fight. They'll push the two of them back here with the Deafening Blast. Cold Feet will kick in for Topson. The Viking now keeping themselves to the edge of the fight. They don't have Shab with them. Topson desperately trying to chase to catch a member of Viking, but Viking proving to be able to do a bit of a better job than OG was able to when it comes to knowing when to back, knowing when to get out. As Viking, nobody gets caught, nobody gets left behind.
I think it's super important that Viking's able to disengage in any of these situations. I think if you're not dying and not losing fights to OG right now, the scaling you're going to get in the later stages is going to be ridiculous. You have a Midas Invoker, you have Axe getting to this Manta Shard build soon. You're going to start getting a lot stronger, so just weather the storm. Don't let OG run you over in the next fight. You're at a great position with your gold, and just keep looking for these fights. Don't let them outnumber you. So this looks pretty good for Viking, and now looking to defend again top, even bringing the AA. I like that they're doing this. Just bring the battle back to them.
Show themselves present at the tower, and it's enough to stop OG from kicking around any longer. They back off. Boom. Midas stun, going straight for the BKB. These BKB timings for both sides, incredibly important due to the way that we're seeing both teams just consistently look to just butt heads with each other.
Lots of 4 stabs we see, of course, on OG to deal with that clockwork. 2 finished up. Topson getting close to that BKB to have his own protection. Sumail, he's got the Shroud and he's got the Sage now, so he's got that insane HP regen and lifesteal amp, so when he is Oracle ulted, he is running inside the fights. If he's not AA blasted, he will likely be at full HP. That's if he's not blasted during the ends of those ticks, though, because it will prevent the healing at that end of False Promise. And they have to make sure they ultimate a decent threshold, too. That is one scary thing about Axe, is you can still dunk through False Promise if they don't get it off early enough on the Lash. Especially with Shad getting such good levels. He'll get that 20 talent early, the plus 150 threshold.
Dude, they've got to be careful, and No-Tail's definitely got his work cut out, you know, whether it be looking towards Sumail, keeping his Lash alive and buffed up in the fight, or just trying to bail out Topson when Topson goes in head first to the action.
Or trying to protect him, trying to just stay in a good position and stay protected, because he's versus Clockwork Rocket to scout him. Spiders swooping in from the back lines too, so it's difficult. OG, they've got a timing. BKB done on Thompson, it's a big one.
He's ready to go in. Looking for Aramis. Aramis is going to be able to hop over towards Notel. The Ice Blast comes crashing in onto Sumail and Seb. Aramis continuing to run down Notel. Kezu coming over with the backup, pops the pipe. He's keeping Aramis alive. Sumail trying to turn to bring down the clock. Will finally manage to do so. They get the catch onto Kezu as well with the Light Strike Ray lining up the rolling boulder from Thompson. This time round, OG, they'll get the 2 kills, keeping everybody alive. Viking weren't quite prepared for a fight of the proportions there that OG brought to them.
Thompson didn't even use BKB either. He just rolled and he held it during the entire fight too, and now he finds himself a double damage too, so that high damage here he is doing will be increased. And I think same thing though for Viking, it's still just, you got to stick together. If you know the way OG's going to move around the map with the lineup that they've drafted, they're going to look to play as this fighting 5-man. And it is OG, which they do that fighting 5-man anyway, even if they didn't have this type of draft. But I think Viking just needs to be a bit more together if they're going to look to go for those type of fights.
He needs these fights to keep on track with Shad's farm. Shad, his net worth is going to start shooting ahead at a pace that, when it comes to just straight up farming the map, hitting the creeps, it's going to be very hard for any of OG's members to keep up with Manta, Ag, Shard, Axe.
It's just silly, because there's no risk with Manta, Shard, or the Axe. You know, you're farming the whole map. Like, OG, they have to show themselves in order to do that. That's why this Axe is just so crazy. So we're going to just continue to see a lot of it until it does get potentially nerfed again.
The next move of mine is here from OG. Relatively split up at the moment. Saxa trying to get his bots farmed up on the bottom. Rather close to it as well, so we'll have that extra way to make sure that they can put pressure on these side lanes while still being kitted up and prepared to join forces to tackle Viking in a 5v5.
It does still look like both teams are fine with the state of the game though, right? Like OG, I see them like sitting back, they're farming. They probably feel like they have a good way to scale too. Viking, they've got great ways to scale, as we mentioned with that Midas on the Invoker plus the Axe. But they do have Brood, and I know that a lot of the teams, a lot of the players have talked about how it gets to a point eventually where Brood just stops doing too much. So maybe that's where OG's looking at being like, okay, well, we've got things to deal with this. You know, we've got late game too.
Thompson.
Kezu.
Talking about the Brood, he's able to find him. Straight over the rolling boulder. Tornado comes out to try and hold them back, but it'll only clip onto Sumail. As Kezu goes down, OG ready to charge in for the next target. Thompson on the hunt. Quite able to get the slow onto Aramis. Aramis, fancy footwork, doing his best to dodge with a hook shot up to the entrance. Aramis may just make it out of there. Hobbs just in time, pushes back Seb up, jump it, but they still are able to find the grab. Thompson in with another roll. They'll catch the clock, take him out.
Fancy footwork. Almost gets himself out, but...
Tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Seeing a Viking. BKB is going to be done on Shad. Really wants that blink to be done until he's at a point where he feels he can turn up and potentially turn around these moves that OG's making against them.
Even though they're the ones with the Axe, they're getting out efficiency'd on the map. OG's getting much more farm and just swinging around as this unit here. They keep forcing reactions, and they're even stealing away Ancients. Like, look at Thompson. He's farming them with his Empower. And Kezu makes his way back up, but he's got to be careful. They're swinging Shad over, though. BKB's done, but he doesn't have a blink for the setup, so he just got to walk in as this Axe still.
And Thompson's going to be hard to kill. Even with the damage output of the Axe later on, with this heart build, you know, it's a lot of HP that you're trying to get yourself through. It's a tanky Earthstrip. With the backup of sustain of heroes like Notel's Oracle, you know, maybe the days of Thompson diving in first and dying are far behind that of OG. They're really going to have to throw everything down on this Earthspirit to have any chance of killing Thompson.
They have to find the backline too. Like, it's going to be Aramis, has to find Notel, and then I mean, I'm seeing Boom queuing up for the BKB, which you can see why, but maybe it is feeling like they are going to need just that Cataclysm a bit sooner. He's still a little low level, so it's only level 4 on the Exort, but yeah, it just feels like OG's just getting more out of the map right now, controlling runes as well. Another DD on Thompson.
2K lead, steadily being built up by OG. Shad, 900 into the Blink Dagger. You see over on the side of OG, Seb just continue to build up the auras, the protection, heading towards the Greaves. Saxa, again, finding himself some Space down on the bottom. Straight for the Ether Lens.
Great Lotus Orb game too now. Versus just pretty much Spirit Vessel. You can just protect his teammates versus that and the Cold Snap from the Invoker. Same thing for Cold Feet. So this is a good one. Good pick up here for Seb. And he's just gonna go for Auras like you said. And no tail, he's just sitting in mid lane, maybe expecting a move to go out on Topson because Topson's farming that risky wave. He's just sitting there Shadow Emulated, chilling.
So I think it's just so hard to make a move on Topson.
Feels like it.
As you mentioned as well, Viking, I don't think they'll be falling for any sort of that bait. You know, Topson alone presenting himself like that, I don't think they're going for that. They know the importance of finding the heroes around him before they get aggressive and try to do something.
And we do see, by the way, boom, he did switch up the build. I think they're starting to realize, like, they're just farming the map. It's 11 to 11,
yeah.
But it's the gold lead's accruing more and more for OG. Like, they're just splitting up. They have this bots, Lina. Even though the Axe is on the top side of Viking, OG is doing a better job of just keeping those side lanes pushed out with little to no risk.
And he's going to have it very soon, yeah. Just a couple of 100 gold away from the Axe.
Yeah.
Won't be at full power, but will certainly be something.
And it's gonna coincide with Shad's Blink. It's about to have that done, but very passive. Kezu's starting to accumulate an army up top as a siege wave pushing towards, so we'll see one of OG's heroes react toward there. See Kezu also, he's been doing this most of the game, didn't really point it out, but layering spiders throughout the jungle, as you see the map right there. He's got pretty much scouting of the whole OG jungle.
Kezu, the halberd coming out. Not really the traditional counter you'd expect to an Earth Spirit. Oh my goodness, this Earth Spirit, we need a halberd to deal with him. But of course, with the strength and the damage talent, those right clicks on this Topson build really do count. So having some sort of way to really stop that major source of physical right click damage that could come out after some of these setups like the RP, but will make a huge difference in the damage output of OG's team fight.
I hope Shad's got enough damage. I mean, I know it's an Axe who usually does have enough damage with himself, but it feels like the rest of his team is starting to fall far behind. Seb, he gets caught.
They're going to get the grab on him. They'll drop the Cataclysm, make sure they burst the Magnus before any sort of response comes out from OG. And a quick kill on the Mag like that, Seb off the map for a minute. That'll give Viking the confidence to head straight into the Roshan.
Gonna die quick too. That pure damage is no joke. Alacrity as well thrown on top. Topson has Heart finished. They're in the area.
They do anything to interrupt this though.
They've got a ward.
It's already fallen pretty low. They're going to try and burst Celery up to the sides. There's going to be a buyback coming out from Seb. Vikings standing step outside of the pit. Topson committing him with the BKB over on the side. Shad, he's caught the backlines. He's found Saxa. Saxa gets taken out. Boom. Attempting to get away with the Ghost Walk. Topson is able to find him with the dust. Deafening Blast from Boom. Pushes back Topson. They're looking back towards the Roche. Shad, he's trying to finish this. He's focusing it down. No one else is in the pit. Shad, he's going to be able to get in. Finish Roche. Grab that Aegis. Off the side. He's in with the jump. The call off the mark though. Won't be able to grab Samael or No Tail as the two of them split. Samael though, falling low to the power of this Ice Blast. The false promise comes out. Shad, he's holding his ground here with the BKB. Steps back over towards No Tail. No Tail, he's providing the heals over towards Samael, but the dunk from Shad comes down onto No Tail. Jump forward from Shad, chasing onto Samael. Seb will push back Shad with the skewer. The blast in from Kezu, not enough to finish Samael off, and Samael will live. The second buyback though coming out from OG around this fight. Topson still full HP on the high ground. Aramis and Shad, Little Mana has enough just for a call. It's the cold feet. Seb's coming over. Topson very tanky. Tries to roll away. Kezu will be able to block him off. They're still sitting here with his 3,600 HP. They can't kill this Earth Spirit. They've got to bail. They've got to back off, especially now with the rest of OG coming back into play, chasing them down. Viking, they'll play heavily on the retreat. Topson, he wants to try and catch someone. In onto Aramis. Aramis has the glimmer. There's the control from Saxon. Light Strike comes crashing down along with the dust. They'll take down Aramis.
Long fight, but the pickup that they get on Seb really pays off. They can get that Roche. They lose Boom, but they get Shad, his Aegis. He's got a Shard. He's got Arcane Moon picked up, and they'll lose the tower, and they do actually lose the gold on the map here too, but a pretty good hit there from Viking anyway. And showing that the Axe can do the damage, but Topson is an issue.
Yeah, they've really got to get Topson in this sort of setup and capturing Shad.
Yeah.
With the full damage of him and his illusion spinning away with the Cataclysm. Without those two components, they're not killing Topson at all. Here we have it, the perfect setup, the call into the Cataclysm and the blast. It's still not enough though, just down to half HP. Topson, he's out with the BKB, he'll go for the TP away. With the magic community lasting just long enough, he'll make it safely back to base. But I mean, there we have it, pretty much as I say, that all the spells hitting that need to barely threatens Topson even with them all landing.
Yeah, he's going to be another cookie to crack, but if they can isolate him, can definitely see the potential for Viking as they're smoked. They're still feeling strong. Level 19 on Shad, about to hit 20 for that extra threshold.
Radiant are scanning for
Kezu's going to start scouting with those spiders.
Either Shad or Aramis could get the setup here. Shad gonna look towards Samaj, gonna get the catch here, over by the creep wave, Ice Blast in, they can't save him, but the hook shot from Aramis comes down to the backlines, catches No-Tail, pushes No-Tail down into the river with the cogs. They've taken out 2 of OG, and there's no buybacks available on these 2, so the rest of OG, they're gonna have to take this fight 3 versus 5. They get the cool control onto Thompson. Thompson, he's trying to roll away, but Aramis is in with the body block, so 3rd death on OG as Seb and Saxa, they have to split. Boom's gonna continue to hunt down the Lina. Saxa will put the dust to try and slow down Boom. Turns with the light strike, will catch on to Boom. The movement speed, is it going to be enough here from Saxa? Does have the TP available, he's into the trees, he will manage to make it away. But a big hit there from Vikings, sending around the mid. And as you said, maybe Thompson just a little too set for another round. Few seconds too early before that BKB would have been back and prepared.
Yeah, they got full scouted too. The spiders swung behind from Kezu. They saw the Lesh walk into the river onto the low ground. Boom, immediately get the jump. I don't even know if the False Promise was in range yet, but either way, Aramis was there to cover it. Gets a 2-man hook shot. Great fight from Viking again. And they're just, I think the biggest thing is just, like you said, identifying that fact of speed that you can make the moves. Air Spirit's BKB was down. They just were not ready to fight. And Seb so far unable to really find any situations for an RP. I don't think we've seen one, have we?
I think just the solo one on Shad in the laning stage, down bottom at the very start. Other than that, no, Seb's he's just not been able to make it in. It really has just been a lot of it has been Aramis. The clockwork is the perfect answer to these heroes. You know, these heroes that are trying to initiate that don't have the ability to be the first to start the action. And of course, No-Tail, Saxa, 2 supports that Aramis is handling pretty well in these team fights.
Yeah, and sometimes it might look like they might be lacking damage. Like, you look at this Viking draft and you could think that they might lack some damage in some instances without the Cataclysm. But when you have an axe like this, the damage is just so ridiculous. Shad's just putting all the work.
Shad! He's going to double back in, get the call off onto Thompson. He's in with the kick. Breaks Seb away from the Cataclysm combo. Laguna thrown down into the RP. They've caught Shad. Can Shad actually get out of this? Zemail comes in from the side, will get the stun down. They blow up Shad. They are going to see a round 2 coming in from Shad. And Aramis, he wants to be a part of it. Buys back, ready to head straight back over to help out his axe. So he's tried to. The stun control's there. They've got nothing to break Shad out of the combo. Jump forward from Seb. He's also able to get the grab onto Celery. Steers him straight back into the heart of OG. As OG, they'll be able to finally get themselves back on track with a solid fight. Catching out the big man there. Shad down now for 70 seconds. The axe out of the game.
They chain stunned him too. He couldn't even get the BKB off after he revived. They just kept getting the stuns on him over and over again, and a nice kick out from Thompson, saving the mag. And as soon as we're saying it, of course, Seb is able to find a pretty decent to get a win for Sumail to come in and clean up. 5k gold lead back to OG.
Absolutely, and that's the thing with Shad getting as much farm as he is. You know, Sumail sort of outside of the action has been keeping up very, very nicely. Now taking, in fact, the top spot against Shad's farm. As long as they can fight around Sumail, keep the space available for Sumail to do his job. This Lesh is going to kick out a lot of damage over these sustained brawls that Vikings trying to be a part of against OG.
Yeah, these long fights could be pretty difficult for Viking for sure. With Bloodstone, with the Shroud, there's so much extra healing that Sumail does have. Blink too, extra survivability if you are False Promise. Spider Legs too to, you know, scurry around the fights. And now these stuns layered, it's difficult for Viking to really set up for their own racks.
Yeah, it is with no shot, no defense potential there at all as the melee Rex gets taken out. He can catch Thompson once he comes in with the attempt to retreat. Still got the BKB ready to pop. In fact, they're ready to turn. Shad tries to get him with the call. He's not going to be able to get the grab somehow. He's able to get himself out of the Cataclysm combo. They brought down No-Tail. Thompson just diving even deeper. He's going to TP out with the remainder of the BKB. As OG will look to back off. They got the objective. They got what they came for. They don't want to lose anything more than No-Tail. By the looks of it, Sumail up to the cliff, and with the TP out, they won't lose anyone else indeed. Sax also able to make it out in the lane. Objective taken, only an Oracle's life to cost for it there.
Those are the moments when you know as a supporter, as an Oracle, that you're dead. You know, your carry, your Earth Spirit just rolls into the tier 4s. You're an Oracle versus a Brood Mother and a clock. Spiders just surround you. You got no hope. But they do get the racks, so that's the important thing for OG. And continue to scale. SNY now on Thompson too.
Back to base you go. Back to base you go. Go.
Definitely slowing down a little bit now for Viking. BKB on Boom, so he's going to be a little more set to position himself aggressively, but I think, you know, considering the way the game is going, it is going to be the refresher that's the real key timing once again. It's all about the burst that they can offer in that combo. It really is. You know, we talked about how the sustained fights right now will favor that of OG. For Viking, it's all about that initiation or the counter initiation, getting in and starting the fight off with a numbers advantage, bursting down at least one of OG's cores or both of the support backliners to start the fight.
Absolutely. And yeah, OG, they look like they're ready to go for this push again. Thompson's already in the mid lane. They have Seb dealing with the bottom. This is 35 minutes, so we see these catapult waves coming in.
Shad.
They're going to kill
There we go. What can do here? Thompson ready to put the BKB, and he's ready to try and get in on this. Rolls in onto Shad, taking a heavy damage though underneath the tower. Aramis in with a hook shot, pushing back with the cogs as well. He's caught in the cataclysm. He's taking heavy damage after this false promise. He's going to fall pretty low, Thompson. No-Tail's trying to offer up enough heals to keep Thompson safe, but he cannot do so. Thompson dying underneath the tier 3s, and Shad, he's ready to turn this in a more. Gets the jump in onto Sax. The call's there onto the Lina. Kezu, he's looking to charge down, hex down onto Seb, as Seb will skewer away as this little piggy tries to run up the high ground. He actually makes it out with a blink. Seb skew off just in time before the hex came into play. As Seb's able to fly his way out of there. But still, nonetheless, 3 dead on OG. Again, just playing a little too close to the tower. Thompson overestimating his tank ability with the BKB in the heart. With they might get
another
Sumail as well. Shad with the spider legs. That's enough. Sumail's able to break his way over the cliff. He will get out. Boom's looking for Seb up top.
Yeah, they're setting up top already.
So if they can get anyone else out of it. As Aramis is making his way over, hookshot is up. Seb with a force and a skewer. He's deep into the trees. Aramis won't be able to follow up.
Vikings playing this, they're still playing this very, very well. Like, this game is 21-17,
It's
still
close.
super
It's
close.
a close game.
It's good how they're identifying that. OG, they identified, they're like, oh, 35 minutes, we've got these double sieges. Let's split up, kill the one's bottom, but also go for mid. Thompson just goes too far. Viking identify that, they punish it. So this is really good balance from both sides, just understanding what they need to do in the game. But OG overstepping a couple times now in this game and getting caught out for it here. Thompson, now this is the second time that stepped up too far. Seb.
He's going to get the catch on a Seb. Hookshot as well as the false promise. They'll try and get Seb back to safety. False promise comes down from No-Tail. Seb, he's looking to turn. We'll drop the RP. It's down on the Boom, but Boom got the BKB off in time, so there's going to be no follow-up after the RP. Viking, they'll get away. So will OG, though. Seb will be saved.
37 minutes. We got new items to pick up for both sides. We'll get some better luck.
I guess the big one, of course, as always, is the Illusionist Cape for Shad, if he can find that.
Yeah. Timeless Relic, also for the side of OG, would be really big, but they actually get on Viking, which is huge also for the Invoker.
Juicy tier 4s here. Telescope, you know, never going to complain about finding a telescope.
OG's on the hunt. No RP at the ready, but they know BKB still on cooldown for Viking.
Or Celery. Off to the side. Shad actually looking for the counterplay. They get the Hexen onto Seb, but the Lotus was there as well. They'll blow up the AA. Celery not able to get back underneath his tower.
He gets like 2-shotted by the Earth Spirit. 500 damage Earth Spirit.
And they're looking for Aramis as well. They found this second support. There's Aramis. It's going to be a buyback to Celery. Aramis turns straight away with a hookshot in onto No-Tail. They've got him. They've blown up the Oracle. Now they're turning towards Thompson, but Thompson with a BKB is ready to push in. Rolling boulder straight past Aramis, though. Aramis will still fall to the damage output of Sumail. Shad trying to run back Saxa and Seb. Thompson, he's out with the roll. They've got nothing else to catch him with. Saxa keeping the hits in onto Shad, stopping his ability from being able to blink in and get the catch off. Boom over towards the mid. He's running down Sumail with the Cold Snap and the Spirit Vessel. Sumail, backup's coming in. Seb charging forward. He uses the force stuff to try and get Sumail back to safety. The spider legs are there. Shad pulls off the mark. Won't catch the two of them. Cold Snap down onto Sumail. Now Shad, he's being controlled. Will put the man to trying to get away, but Seb's back in with a skewer. Skewer onto Shad. Shad will fall. The axe down. 3 dead on Viking. Thompson, catch onto Kezu in with the Rolling Thunder. Straight over. Kezu turns with the Hex onto Saxa to stop any follow-up Light Strike Array from coming out straight away. It doesn't matter though. Saxa has the time still to turn. Kezu getting completely controlled here. Another slow from the boulder of Thompson in with the stun. Landing everything here against the spider, leaving Kezu no chance to break away from the control of Thompson and Saxa. 4 dead on Viking.
That was a crazy fight. There was like 2 different fights going on during the entirety of it. Shad's chasing Seb the whole time while Thompson's zoning 3 heroes as the Earth Spirit. And that's with OG losing No-Tail right at the start of the fight. And they still can't deal with Thompson. 5,130 HP Earth Spirit. Zoning away 3 heroes with the Lesh. That was a huge fight from OG.
Yeah, especially, you know, with the way that, yeah, as you say, Viking, they did sort of make the big, well, what could potentially have been a big brain move to turn that initial hook shot from Aramis, pretty much finding it onto Notel through the entire squad of OG, blowing up the Oracle. It just didn't quite matter this time round. Viking not having the positioning to deal with OG, running at them and sort of tearing them apart, distracting them, splitting the team away from one another.
And like Sumail's just his self-healing. He didn't even need the Oracle's healing this time around. The Bloodstone plus the Shroud, it was enough to keep him topped off and just keep disengaging. He also had a haste rune, did come into play, but the Shad got like a good two-man call in the back. Dude didn't get like this crazy amount of spins, but looked like the fight could have gone either way until the last few seconds of it there, where Thompson's just holding his ground. 5,150 HP with a Trickster cloak. Like this Air Spirit's pretty damn unkillable unless he just dives too far, as we've seen a few times.
Especially with that Trickster cloak. Yeah. A lot of effective HP to try and work through. Yeah, Thompson, he's probably going to have to dive into the fountain to have the sort of situations where OG's getting punished for the aggression, but no, it is OG. That can very well happen. We may find Thompson in that exact position. You got to watch out for it.
And we do have the refresher done for Boom now too. So we do have a secondary go after the first explosion. They could have a secondary Cataclysm that can clean up, because it does feel like, you know, we said there maybe could get to points for damage issues for Viking, and we actually are getting to those points versus crazy tanky Air Spirits. A second round of it will help, but they're trapped in their base. OG continue to get that over efficiency of the map.
There's going to be a test now here for OG. How safely can they break away the high ground objectives from Viking without falling to the temptation of diving in deep against them?
They're about to be 25 on the Lash, so that'll help quite a lot just to push that much quicker. Hobson also does have a DD. He finds himself a Spell Prism too. And yeah, he's going in.
Let's see what they got on the high ground here, Viking. Boom setting things up. Look at Shad and Aramis. Already trying to get him from the side. Looking for an angle on the back lines. Aramis, he's in. He's been able to find Notel. Straight in onto the Oracle. Notel, he's trying to protect himself, but the Ice Blast comes crashing and he gets taken out. Over to the side, Shad. They're protecting him for now with the Glimmer Cape. Stewart over to the side. If they got further lockdown for the Axe, they don't. Shad's able to pop the BKB. Heading up to the high ground. He's got the core control onto Thompson. Caught underneath the tower. Light Strike away from Saxa. Holds back the two of them, but Boom now with the BKB out. Chases towards Thompson. Jump forward for Shad. He's in with the dunk. They're taking out the Earth Spirit. OG's push will be put to a stop. As again, Aramis just finding somehow that this angle every single time through the entire team fight, the entire 5-man of OG, he keeps finding the perfect line onto Notel.
And they no messing around too. I thought maybe for a sec it could be like a bit of a mistake there from Boom, just doing the full double Cataclysm, because I don't think most of the actual Sunstrike's connected, but they got the Oracle, and then Earth Spirit just commits a bit too far. He gets a little too overzealous trying to finish off the Invoker and just gets completely locked down. So OG does still have to give some respect to this massive burst combo and also to the wraparound. Like Aramis time and time again has been able to find those wraps.
Yeah, these are big holds, big moves here from the defensive from Viking, considering as well. Still, yeah, 11k down against OG. But making moves like that you definitely don't feel that much of a difference between the two squads. Some very solid moves from Viking.
And a good point out there from our observer. You know, I did mention how Thompson did switch out to go for Spell Prism instead of going for that Trickster Cloak. Maybe that Trickster would have been enough to keep him alive inside of that crazy dive forward. He was swapping the cheese in, and he had like 1 second or so left till the cheese was back in the inventory. So, yeah, it probably would have saved him there, at least for some time to get the Oracle back in position.
In the next round, Sumail still huge as ever.
He sure is.
These back and forth moves. 28,000 net worth on the Leshrac. Getting closer to being able to pick up this Arcane Blink and still having the availability of buyback.
And Notel, he has no buyback. If he gets killed in this next fight, he's not going to be able to buy back and come back to join in like he's been trying to in the last few. So OG, it's a bit of a scary push for them. Even though they have Aegis left for 50 seconds, they're probably feeling a bit concerned to actually go for it here. As I believe the double Cataclysm's back up in 20 seconds for the Invoker.
Going to be keeping an eye on that timing for sure, you would imagine, OG. The question has to be, what are they going to do about it? I mean, when it comes to OG's heroes, we see Thompson very much, you know, he does have a pretty long reach in terms of who he can dive in and get on top of. But other than that, actually finding someone to really stop Boom from ever getting off his combo from the back of the fight, it's not easy for OG's heroes.
No.
Right? They can't really stop Boom from doing his job every single time. As long as Aramis or Shad's in between Boom and OG, Boom's gonna be able to drop those double cataclysms every single team fight.
Absolutely. It's not easy, no? Especially with No-Tail having no buyback or not. Like, if you've been watching his last gameplay for the last minute and a half or so, he's just Shadow Amulet randomly in the river. Because he knows it's like, if he gets caught, the game could just get really weird for them in these next few moments. Because he'll be down for like 100 seconds, they'll lose full map control. Even though they've got the 10k gold advantage, you know, this cataclysm is no joke. So yeah, it feels like they have to, just these angles of approaches is a bit strange. It's a bit difficult for them. Seb might be needing to get that RP off, but it's the same thing. Like, they're fine. They're getting on top of that backline. They're getting on the Magnus. They're getting on the Oracle to prevent them from doing it. Still anybody's game, really.
Absolutely. We see Topson now here in the late game. At the moment, queuing up the Ags. What do you think he's got in mind when it comes to this? Is this going to be
It's a save.
Is it for the save or for the disable on one of these cores of Viking? Or do you think his job's now going to be just sort of kicking No-Tail out of the team fight, at least giving No-Tail a chance to live if they do find him?
It could be both. It's probably more so just saving No-Tail, because then he can if he just gets the Stone Remnant onto him, then he survives throughout the Cataclysm combo. But if he sees an opportunity where he can roll in and kick somebody out of base, you know, there's always possibilities. And then they've got skewers and they've got the boulder to kick people out of base. Chant Remnant, sorry, so.
I mean, that is true.
It's a lot of range.
We haven't really seen a lot of this game around OG's base. But when it does get there, OG's going to have a pretty good delivery system for taking heroes from the tier 3s straight into their fountain. So, you know, Viking, as much as they're pulling out a very impressive hold on their half of the map, they've definitely got quite a mountain to climb when it comes to turning that into the ability to end the game or threaten the game against OG.
You know what my favorite thing about this game is, though, Owen? We have two lineups that are very explosive, right? With, like, their Cataclysm combos, AA Blast. We have even Lagunas and stuff like that. Let's take a look at how many Aeon Discs we have. It's a big 0 right now, which makes me feel really nice. I don't know, that item is just running rampant everywhere.
I mean, what is it, sort of a gentleman's agreement from the teams, you think? Nobody wants to play with
They're going to start
this,
buying
you know.
I think No-Tail's probably like, I need an Aeon Disc.
Bounty.
Smoke up from Viking. As soon as the action's back on, they want to bring the heat.
There's another Aeon Disc. Yeah, as soon as we say it, man, look, Shad's got one. We've got one coming out on No-Tails.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense from Shad as well.
Sure does.
For him, you know, sure, damage is going to be limited from himself, but just being able to survive and get the call off, allowing Boom to drop the 2 cataclysms, the lockdown from the axe will be enough to start off the action, even if the Aeon just gets procced.
Clockwork rocketing side lanes, scouting out. OG, they'll show themselves down bottom. Starting to get the push going again.
Here we go.
They dive
the
fast.
tier 3's OG.
They got to get back quick, Viking.
See what Shad can do. Watching from the side. Stepping up, he's going to look for the grab, he's been able to catch the torn back lines, he's found Seb and Saxa. Straight up with the hook shot as well on the Seb, pushing him back with the corks into the second round of Cataclysm. Seb, he's going to get away with the Stewart, but the damage is done. Seb's out for 2 minutes. Topson, his BKB has come to an end. Aramis committing with his own BKB, the Cell Stone into the slide away. Topson will break his way out of any further combo. In fact, Topson's ready to go back in. Topson will look to finish off the range rack. Just to be a bit careful with no BKB. Jump forward, the Hex is out onto Aramis. Samael, he's in with the damage. Tornado holds out onto the 2 of them. Aramis still somehow alive. Will get the cogs off. Aramis has died, but he's been able to trap Samael and Topson. Topson rolls out to the side. The cold feet kicks in. Samael's been taken out. Topson, another roll to get off to the side. Aramis not quite able to get the angle there with the hook shot. He's still trying to run away. Shad, he's going to have blink up in a few seconds, but with the rolling thunder, Topson will be able to continue to get out of there. They find No-Tail off to the side. Tornado in from Boom. They've caught the Oracle as No-Tail down for 100. Both him and Seb without the ability to buy back, as Viking only having to utilize the buyback of Aramis to hold OG off, as OG will be pushed back. They're not able to claim anything from the mid set of racks. And now a bit of a window where Viking, they could punch back pretty hard and take objectives from OG already. Top, Boom, he's looking for the setup onto Topson. He's been able to sneak over into the jungle. He's found Topson, and with the outpost under their control, Aramis gets him with the TP. Hookshot is up, but the stone form lasts just long enough from Topson to avoid the connection of the hookshot. As Topson, he'll only just, but he will manage to get himself away.
I mean, Viking got like so much out of it. They got top racks. They got a huge fight in the mid lane. They only lost, what, a range racks, I believe, out of all of it, too. So,
yep.
Yeah, massive. Absolutely
range
massive
racks
fight
and a clockwork buyback. So very small.
Very small.
Things being offered by Viking to be able to take that against OG Thompson. He's in on the mid. He's been caught out by the call. We'll get the BKB off in time, but the first cataclysm comes crashing in. Hook shot off the mark there. Can't quite get past Shad to get the control onto Thompson, so Thompson will be able to still step back underneath the tower. Turn with the silent Shad. Eon Disc will proc. They're back off for now, 10 seconds until Seb's back in, about 10 as well until Samel's back in the game. Samel really not wanting to have to use his buyback, of course, for these last few seconds that he is off the map. See if Viking can force the racks in time over to the side. Shad, he gets the grab on Saxa. Saxa standing a little too close over to the mid. Seb, he's in with the RP, onto the two of them. He's able to push back Aramis underneath the tower, as well as Kezu, but there's no follow-up onto both of them. Buyback comes out from Saxa, another skewer, again from Seb, scooping up the two of them. Aramis will die underneath the tier 4s. Kezu trying to break away with the help of the wedge, but the light strike comes crashing down from Saxa. Kezu will fall. OG themselves this time round, just one support buyback will hold back Viking. Viking not quite able to get the melee racks in the mid lane, as OG, they will bring out the defense.
And it's 100 seconds now the other way. Let's see what OG looks to make happen with that time, since they didn't have their Magnus for 100 seconds, so that's why Viking went for the push. Now we've got to go in the other way. Seb, he should have buyback for the next. He was just short on gold, I think it was. So now this one he'll be able to get a little bit more farm out, and we'll have buyback after this next push. So, gonna look to set for that one up, and yeah, we'll see what Viking does look to set up for here. Shad, he does buy out. He spends gold shard, so he's got that super high attack speed now. But yeah, 50 seconds.
Creep waves here.
He needs to, because they could just lose. They could get megged right here. That's the scary thing about this Earth Spirit plus this Flash Strike. It's 50 seconds. That's more than enough time.
The creeps getting too close. There's not going to be any backdoor protection here for Viking as Thompson. Tier 3's gone. On to the racks here. What can the three of them offer up, Viking? Thompson, he's in with the roll. He's going to be able to use the stone form here to kick him back deep into the hands of the rest of OG. Shad still able to get the BKB off in time. BKB and walk off to the side. They'll put the fortification. Still 30 seconds until Vikings got the full squad left alive. Boom. The AoE deafening blast. Slowing down the push here from Thompson a little bit. Not enough. The range rack still goes down. Thompson over towards the melee racks. So we're just the three hard to push them back. Samel, he's in aggressive with a hex onto Boom. Thompson roll forward as well, but Boom's out to get the BKB off. The Cataclysm comes out, but there's no setup as Celery dies underneath the tower. He does have a buyback available. Thompson look for the roll in onto Boom, but Boom with the movement speed able to juke it out to the side. Seth dropping the RP, but the Eon Disc from Shad removes the stun immediately. He's got the damage control onto Samel. Samel, he's going to have the buyback, but Saxa's down. No buyback on him. Thompson, BKB committed as he tries to stay on top of Kezu and Celery, but Shad, it's another triple kill. He's over to Seth. It's another ultra kill. It's Thompson, the last man left alive. He'll turn into a stone, he'll turn into a statue. Maybe they don't see me if I'm not there, but they see him. The hex is down. Rampage for Shad. As Viking, they'll wipe OG, and they will defend the base, even keeping the melee racks alive on the top lane.
Shad got the two-man call on the back line. He got the Magnus and the Lina as Sumail was super far into the base. They got split up again. The Cataclysm connects, and then they're all split. Again, OG getting a bit too overzealous, it feels like, with their aggression, and they get turned off by Viking for like the third or fourth time this game.
Absolutely big hold there from Viking. Doing it for what must have felt like the longest of time for them as well, with just the 3 versus the full 5-man of OG. But they pull it off. They hold back OG. And now they're ready to run down mid here with a full squad.
They know there's no RP either for 30 seconds or so. The Aeon Disc, as you mentioned, it procced as soon as that RP went off. Similar cooldown, so they should know. Buyback is forced though from Thompson. And Roche is back up, so it does look like that's what Viking wants to scout out next. Take out the outpost first.
Playing it careful, playing it smart here, Viking. They know that they've now managed to shift the lead into their favor, but not wanting to make the same sort of misplays that OG has here. Viking, they're eyeing up the mid lane.
Noto is quite far away from his team still. He's pinging himself. He's like, guys, I'm not there yet. Be a little careful. I'm coming.
Thompson rolling in.
Goes in deep.
Able to make it away and chancing himself.
Dying.
I mean, they're going for this Roche pretty much with the full lineup of OG alive. Viking feeling that strong about their ability to take objectives out to the side of the pit, though. They've caught Aramis. They're in with the jump. Aramis, he's out. That's the gem hitting the decks. Aramis gone for 90 seconds, but the time is brought there for Viking to finish off the Roshan. And now they'll look to try and get themselves out of it. Thompson in with the chase over towards Celery, but they'll turn. Boom with the two-man tornado. The RP from Seb comes down on the Boom, but Boom again getting the BKB off in time. Thompson rolls over towards Celery, has the damage to take down the AA. The AA is gone. Boom pushing about with the deafening blast. He's up to the high ground. Cataclysm coming down as OG starting to get split. They look towards Shad, but Shad blinks out just in time. Thompson still trying to chase in onto the Axe. Shad, he's got enough movement speed here with the boost travel to get out of there. He has it. Thompson in with another roll. They'll catch the Axe. They'll bring down Shad the once. Got the Aegis ready for round 2. No BKB. Eon Disc up in a second. Has Shad got any way out of this? The Hex comes out. Shad trying to run, but there's no help coming in for him. Shad will be left to die alone.
Base is starting to get sieged. Good fight though from OG. They get the supports right at the start, and they can actually keep Notel alive for one. They get the jump onto him with the Hex, but his Aeon Disc ends up keeping himself alive. They get the kite around. And OG, I think they lost a full AC on the courier during this fight from Thompson, but either way, able to get the fight back. Getting rid of Aramis seems to be pretty important at the start of the fight. Even though it looked like he kind of caught the rolling boulder for his team, he dies right at the start of the fight, and it seems very difficult for Viking to fight without him. They will get their gem at least.
I mean, and I guess Shad maybe feeling the inevitability of OG trying to force something whilst 3 are dead, coming out with a sort of an unprovoked buyback there, which could leave him in quite a risky position. I guess was just really scared of something coming in, wanted to use the buyback sooner than later, but might have got away with holding off on that.
Yeah, I guess he just wanted to be able to buy back, use Manta, cut waves, right, with the shard and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah, it could end up hurting him for sure. Spends his gold, he's got his overwhelming blink now too.
Definitely going for the riskier move, but as you say, maybe a necessary one. Just making sure that the backdoor protection does not get close to be taken out with any of the lanes approaching the base. Kezu. Get the jump in there. There's a Hex on a Kezu. Kezu! He needs help, and he needs it now. Shout him with the call. He's able to get the call on to both Thompson and Samael Seb. He's moving to get him with the RP, but the Hex comes out. Kezu's out. Buyback immediately from the Spider. Aramis in with a hook shot onto Samael, but Samael's in with the BKB, starting to back off the Cataclysm. It goes crashing down onto Seb. Seb caught between the two Sunstrikes. As Seb's gone, Shad, another great call. Catches Samael, even catches Thompson here on the attempted rollout. Thompson's still able to break away with a further rolling thunder. Shad running him down. Thompson going for the TP. Is there anything to cancel it? There isn't. Thompson makes it out in time, but it's 3 dead on OG. Samael and Seb. No buyback available. Both of their buybacks on cooldown for at least 3 minutes. A huge window now where Viking, they may just be able to take something big here away from OG.
Looked scary for a second for Kezu. He dies, but it ends up being well worth it. They get the comeback. He gets caught by the Cataclysm again as Thompson.
Shad! He's in! He's in with a fake back! Jumps back in straight away on a Saxon. Thompson false promise comes out to Saxon Hotel trying to keep his Lena alive. In Charm Remnant and a self kick off to the side. Thompson, he's moving to get back up with the high grab, but the Hex is there. Shad, he's closing the gap. Another call. Shad will grab it, but again the Thunder was obviously time. He's able to roll away with the rolling boulder. As Thompson will live, but now 3 dead. No buybacks for OG. As Viking, they're looking at ready. They're ready to close it up, or at least try to. Thompson and Notel, they've got to pull off something insane here to hold back the full 5-mana Viking. I don't know if they can do it though. Hex out onto Notel. Viking run down the Oracle. Notel's out of the game. Thompson, the last man left alive, but not for long. As Viking get the team wipe. GG is called as Viking will take this game 1 from.
Damn. What a good game. Honestly, from both sides, I feel like OG overextensions really hurt them this game. Because it did feel like it was anybody's game, just the back and forth fights. But OG with like 2 or 3 overextensions, perhaps. And
Yeah, I think OG is going to eventually get this win on their side.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the mid lane, Thompson versus Boom. This Lena Puck matchup can go both ways. If there's good rotations from OG, Lena can feed. Puck can kind of struggle if he's left alone to play versus Lena. But I like OG. I think they have more playmaking opportunities, and I think Thompson can have a really, really impactful game on Puck with the DK being shifted to position 4.
And are they going to play faster than previous game?
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to hang out and chill. They've got Dusa and Alchemist, so they're happy to go late and we'll have another brawl back and forth, most likely, which is what everybody wants to see anyway.
I definitely want to see that, and
I'm
I
down.
know everybody in chat wants to see that, and I know our two commentary team, our commentary team, would love to see that too. It's Odie, Pixel, and Fog. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Shiva, and a big welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2. I'm sure you're all still here after that Game 1 extravaganza between the two of them. Viking, of course, able to come out on top at the end of the day. Fog, what do you make of what we're seeing from this this second game? A bit of a switch up, you know, very much OG, as Peter said, sort of stepping into a bit of a different realm where it comes to the timings they'll be hitting. This Deucer, this Alchemist coming out, and Viking, the curveball that PPD did predict coming out. Aramis on the support DK. I mean, is this something you've been seeing? Is this strong? Where does the strength lie in this? And is this something Viking planned as soon as it was picked, or is this a response to what OG came out instead?
I think they probably just started deviating, started just like, you start adjusting quickly based off what you see inside the draft. I think this is something people have been theory crafting for a while, ever since the DK got buffed, the Dragon Tail at level 1, just how much stronger it is. So I'm glad they went for it. I liked Peter's suggestion a bit better, though. I did like the Darkseer, especially because it's Kezu's hero. It's Aura Buyer, which is always good versus like your Puck and stuff like that. And of course, versus Deucer. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do as the Veno. I feel like it's similar style of aura buying and like claiming an area and controlling, but I feel like Darkseer just, it gets to that you scale. You're going to scale infinitely because Deuce is going to scale infinitely, but this is the approach they went for. And we'll see if it does end up working with the 4-position DK, because the other thing is too, I think that's where it makes the puck a lot better, because sure, looks like a little bit of a, like not a hard puck game, but an annoying one when you're playing versus DK, but now that it's a 4-position, I feel like you just open up opportunity for Thompson to kind of pop off in the game.
Around this rune already, OG on the high ground. Catch out Viking, but not going to be the case. Viking caught underneath the trap here of OG. The lanes take place. Once again, Shad and Celery. We're starting down on the bottom half with the Axe AA combo. Would imagine No-Tail's going to head up to the top lane pretty shortly.
Yep.
It's a bit of harassment here onto Celery as two of them make it to the lane.
Look at all the wards too placed down. 4 kind of wards placed out from OG in the bottom side. Just checking high ground to see if the lane, they're going to do some type of like lane dodging, I think, is that what they're trying to scout out here. And then also just blocking off camps that we know will probably get stacked up from either the A or Lina. Let's see how Shad does bottom. This time he does buy that ring of protection that we did mention about him missing missing the last game for the lane. He needs it versus Acid Spray because he's down to that negative if he doesn't have it. So now he's at 0 when he's under Acid Spray with the ring of protection.
And when it comes to what he's facing, you think in this game, Axe against Lion and Alk, it's not quite as threatening for the Axe as the Lina Magnus was last game?
Not as threatening in lane, no. I think that Chad should be able to get quite a bit more farm out. No, because they can actually harass properly versus like the Lion. You just hunger the Lion and then the AA is able to harass. And now it's Accept is just a walking aspect, which you can avoid. You can step out of. You know, shockwaves and these constant spams from Lightstrike arrays, quite a bit different.
Over to the mid lane. PPD said he's going to have his eyes on this matchup.
Yes.
The Lina Puck can go both ways. Boom versus Thompson. I mean, what do you expect out of this? Do you sort of pit either of these as the favorite to win in this matchup?
Lately, I've been liking the Linas a lot more. It's just so easy to play. Sure, Puck is easy to play, but Lina just plays itself. Like Puck, you have to do some kind of like skilled kind of dodges and stuff like that. Lina, you just click the nuke on the wave. You keep your Fiery Soul up. It kind of does itself. So I like the Lina quite a bit more. And it really is up to the 4-position rotations. So I think that OG does have the better rotation, though. So that's where Boom could get caught off guard.
Got him. Well, this might just be the first blood. 7 Saxa.
Got him.
Be able to find it. Celery caught out with the stun, holding him inside of the Acid Spray. The punch is coming hard.
Okay, that does mean they skill the Hex. So it does mean that Sox is going to have much less mana to work with to constantly harass the Axe because of that, but they do get a kill anyway. But yeah, usually you do see the point in mana drain at level 2 because you use your whole mana pool otherwise and you just can't do anything in lane. You're just auto attacks.
And when you see this sort of setup as well, I imagine Seb, as the offlane the Alchemist will be, of course, building items for himself, but are we going to see any sort of shift towards an early Axe for any of his other cores or even supports this game?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's got 2 really valuable ones. He's got the Puck and the Medusa, so definitely super value. Maybe wants to get like 1 or 2 of his starting items first, maybe like a pipe or something like that. I've seen him usually go for the hood early, but yeah, I think it's just too valuable to not do it. Because then you can like force those fights around Roche that we used to see OG do when they did like the Monkey King Alchemist. you know, you get that timing and you just go Roshan, and then you have a Medusa with like 3 items, or a carry with 3 items and a Roshan.
Yeah, and we sort of had it discussed on the panel, but what's your sort of take when it comes to sort of the Axe carry versus the Dusa carry? Now, do you imagine, you know, for the Axe, once Shad does have the Manta, the Blink and the Shard, you know, the means to get on top of the Dusa and do damage, is it going to be threatening Sumail, or at that point of the game, should the Dusa be at a stage where Sumail doesn't care too much about the initial burst that Viking will throw at him?
I think the pure damage might be decent. The one thing that changes my Tide instantly is there's a Lion in the game. So if he does pop the Manta, there's just like, you can just mana drain, and then the whole entire, like most of the aggression that comes up from the Axe Manta, it just dies instantly. Those 2 illusions just instantly die when the Lion does get the Shard online, which we know Sox is going to do eventually. So I think it's an easier game for OG, for the Medusa to carry.
Sure. Like, you do see this as 2 drafts that, you know, at a certain point, you know, Sumail's had a good game. If we restore his last match, he keeps himself at the top of the net worth. This Dusa could be the be-all, end-all in this.
Absolutely. I don't know what the Venomancer and DK are supposed to do to slow her down, really. Because he's got a Clockwork behind him as this Medusa, so you've got like no threat, really. The DK shouldn't, in theory, be able to get up to you and get a stun and get all like, these Veno Gales. You should be able to just get your free farm on Medusa and then get stacks. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty good game for Sumail, I'd say.
So far, lane-wise, really losing out too much. This is that mid lane where Boom has about a wave or 2 edge actually on the CS of Thompson. So I think coming out of top so far, the 1v1 will hit that probably a little bit quicker than that of Thompson. It leaves them any chance to get aggressive. 2 of them, I guess when it comes to catch for Thompson, it is going to be a little tricky. Thompson not having too many threats that he's going to have to jump about in the team fights.
Thompson did steal away a bounty rune, though, so he might be 8 last hits behind, but he did steal the one on the left side from Boom. About to be 6, but Boom gets the 6 first, and Thompson gets hit by the stun.
He does. We'll get the silence off onto Boom, but Thompson, he's got to be careful. John, not too far away that he's still underneath that light strike array. We'll see up top, no tail. Trying to get in with the chase down on Kezu, but a Dragon Tail stun from Aramis will hold back the clock. Try and turn it. The snake bounce is not going to quite clip onto Kezu, so Kezu will be fine.
You know what's wild is Boom put an extra point in stun when Thompson was coming in, because he's like, no, he's gonna make this mistake. If he had Laguna, like, he potentially gets the kill on the puck there.
Yeah, for sure. I think we would have seen him sort of posture aggressively and try and chase Thompson back up to the high ground. No doubt about it.
And we're still seeing Shad get off to a slow start anyway. Not as slow as the first game, but they're still getting slowed down from that Alkan line a lot. And we are already seeing the move from Celery, heads up to top. They've got the stack started. And they're going to do the same strategy they did in the first game. Leave Shad alone, and then just look to pressure the carry, the Sumail. We do see Saksa taking opportunity, though. Since he sees bottom, they've moved. He makes the way toward mid.
He's got it. Got enough burst to take down Boom underneath the tower. They don't. It's going to be more than okay here with the backup from Aramis coming in and stopping OG throwing anything else onto Boom.
A little worried for him. He didn't ever. I don't think he had a raindrop on him either. I thought perhaps he could get burst down, but holding his ground nicely. Good TP from Aramis, and they continue to stack. And Chad continues to get that farm. We do see, I think, the stacks starting from OG pretty soon. I'm actually not seeing stacks from OG just yet. I was going to say, I hope that they do have some stacks with this Alchemist anyway. Even though he's having such a good time bottom, you always want that extra enabling factor. So we do see Aramis starting to get some scouting. Walks in with his Tranquil Boots as the DK, gets a deep ward down. Was spotted by OG, though. But they'll keep tabs on those.
Way over to deal with those.
It's so good on oh, he doesn't do the pull in between. Okay, maybe waiting for his level 6. But I was gonna say it's so good on Dire because you can pull those 2 camps that we're seeing. Thompson, talk about it afterwards.
No tell. I've caught him here. Aramis able to close the gap, set up with the Dragon Tail, and these stage of the game, these 3 heroes, a lot of magical damage to be dealt. You will very likely die if you're anything other than a core against these 3. It's Kezu. It's getting to the point where the level's starting to rack up on the Plague Wars. This area of the map is just not going to be a place that OG really want to head over to.
Yeah, and it is going to be first item, Aghanims, actually, for Seb. So not even going for a hood early on. He's just going straight forward for the Dusa. He does have 2 really good heroes for Aghanims, the Puck and the Dusa, so... Okay.
Heck, he's got 4. Sure, no tail.
He does?
Especially Saxa. He wants He wants to come out with the big old fingers.
Oh, and let's be honest, they never give the supports any Ags. I've seen these offlane alchemists so they give out 2 and then they never give out another one.
And that's it. Feels bad, poor old Saxon.
But it definitely is 4 good Ags in this game. And we're seeing gold lead already, 2K for OG, just like last game, getting a little bit more out of the map.
I guess it is to be expected a bit when you do have a core out.
Absolutely.
To some point with these stacks.
Here comes the tops in rotation.
Core drop down onto Boom. So he looks to break the coil, and with the remainder of the haste room, Boom's going to be fine. In fact, with the Dragon Tail stun, they're able to turn and blow up Thompson. Thompson getting taken out there as Viking. They're looking to try and set up for more. Boom heading over towards Samel. Stun won't quite catch onto the Medusa. No tail being pushed out to the side here by the damage over time from Kezu. Samel pretty low underneath his tower. Boom popping the mangoes, but a little low on that HP, so doesn't want to quite get in with the dive underneath the tier 1. Samel will be okay for now, but Viking quick to seize the opportunity to turn there, and smart moves from Boom, just instantly knowing that the best play was to put that haste, break that coil, so he had the ability to turn and blow up Thompson as Thompson tried to jump in to finish off the kill.
Yeah, that was very heads up. The same thing I was going to talk about just now is because he knows that Clockwork's not 6, Lion wasn't in the area. There's no one else who can get on top of him. As soon as he gets out that far, that distance, he's Gucci. He's good to reset and go back in. So very nice play there from Viking. It was a good TP. It was a good idea from OG to defend with Thompson, but yeah, losing him. But they will defend the tower, and Sumail, he doesn't actually have to leave the area just yet. Say that, but now gets the stun. He's low mana.
Rather low on mana, yeah. Gonna be all right. We'll actually get the curry of Aramis and Sumail. He's out with the TP. Doesn't want to mess around in this area any longer than he needs to now.
Seeing the stacks coming out. Sox is starting to get these double stacks, but look at Shad. He has monstrous stacks in comparison.
We saw what Shad was able to do when he sort of got the time to sneak away into the jungle, clean up the stacks in game 1. He became massive on the axe, and so far the trajectory is pretty much the same here for him in this game too. Yeah, looking quite similar for sure. Sab, I believe his Aghanims is about to be finished up. 350 more gold. Let's see what they can do with it. Viking starting to get that push started top quite a lot here. Kezu starting to lay down those wards. Catapult coming in. Aramis not quite 6, but they're swinging Shad over too.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top tower going down within the next few seconds, and No Tail knows it. No looking to hold on to it. In fact, already Kezu moving away from the top.
They're setting up for mid too.
Yeah,
they still have their siege creep.
Pressure on fast. They're playing it speedy. They're against this out. They're against this Medusa. Viking making sure that they really do keep the pressure onto OG.
And they should.
Especially in a game where Seb has gone for the straight Ags first. You know, they know that this hero, on his own, Seb, it's going to be very vulnerable if any action does kick off. He's going to have nothing to protect himself.
He's pretty hard countered in the game anyway, right? He is versus that AA, he is versus Venomancer, he's versus Axe. It's so many different lethal damage points that would kill the Alk anyway, so. He does have the Axe finished, and they did scout it. Kezu was right in front of him in the mid lane. Kezu nearly has his Spirit Vessel done too, so lots of different damage, and there it is. So Sumail, free Axe given, Dragonlance too, and top of that net worth.
It is a good bit of boost to the tank ability of Sumail. Already 11 minutes in, 6 HP, 1200 mana. He's not going to die instantly in the fights, even if they do get a jump on him. He will have the chance to react.
And it really is just so early to have an Axe.
So, come on to Kezu, but not quite with any. He did have a mango, but not wanting to pop it initially to try and push Kezu back. Going to drop the Lagoon onto No Tail. No Tail, he's actually going to end up going down. Boom has the reach.
Another one.
He's taken him down, and now with the set him on to Seb. The Ice Blast coming in as well, Seb. He's got back, but in fact with a finger of Saxon, they're able to blow up Aramis. Seb will end up still going down. Dream Cold will be dropped there, but Viking, they're able to step out straight to the side. Thompson, he's caught by the stun. He punches in from Boom. Still looking to scout up to the high ground here, but Thompson won't jaunt forward aggressively. It's Viking, sure they lose Aramis, but they get 2 heroes for it. Taking the favorable trade here, Viking around the mid lane.
And Shad is just chilling top. That was a 4v5 fight that Viking was doing, and they do come out ahead of it anyway. Plus having the Axe farming on the other side of the map, so perfect move there from Viking. And I feel like that's how we'll see Seb. That's going to be Seb 90% of this game, I feel. Just getting completely deleted by AA Blast every single time. So looks like he's queuing up 4-staff, just trying to reposition people to get out of those blasts. I think it'll be a pretty nice choice.
Playing for time and space for Samael. Very much looking to put this game on the shoulders of the Medusa. Get everything they can to buff up and protect him at all costs. Make sure that any jump, any fight the Viking try and enter into, Samael will survive through the initial onslaught and will be able to eventually turn and take down the remaining members of Viking after they make the jump.
He's got his work cut out for him, though. It really is just going to feel like they only effectively have 3 heroes on the side of OG, right? Like, the way that's going to start coming down quickly, Viking is going to scale on 3 heroes quite nicely. OG, they're only going to really scale on like 1 or 2. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do with this big Medusa if they're going to be able to rally around Sumail.
Chad, start pretty much done. Considering how game 1 went, I think this is even quicker than game 1.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just getting that little bit more space and stack preparation for
No tail.
in the river. It's going to set up for the coil to come in, but the Ice Blast in return straight down onto No-Tail. No-Tail will fall. Boom, able to get the Laguna off before he dies. So Thompson will tick down pretty low into the Battle Hunger. And the damage from the vessel. The Stone Gaze comes out, but Kezu's able to turn over to the side. Good body blocks here from the illusions of No-Tail. Will stop Kezu from being able to escape. 2 for 2 though. Viking, they may lose the 2 cores, but are able to bring down Thompson with it.
And this time it's big for OG, where sure, they lose Thompson, but in the meanwhile, Soxa is just farming top, has finished up a Blink Dagger, and No-Tail with that aggressive hook shot does end up really nicely. 2 cores for the 1.
Dire should look to the middle tower.
Miss the Elder Dragon form here to put pressure onto mid. Not quite wanting to set up on him yet. Tails hook shot back up in a few seconds, as well as the finger. So first potential is once again online here for OG if they see a chance mid.
Vikings got to be sure to be getting quite a bit out of the map. If they are going to be looking to go for these pushes mid, and they are going to be like kind of losing even like 2 heroes, they have to get so much more out of the map. Because you know, like we said, you're only playing versus really like 3 OG heroes. If you're losing fights at this point, it's going to get scary when this Dusa does get big. So I like what Shad's doing. He's still looking to play his own game, just splitting up the map, sending the illusions out to cut waves. Same thing for Kezu, still trying to get as much farm as possible. Seeing Aramis even trying to find farm. They do lack a bit of that catch for the puck, as we see. If he jumps in, sure, they've got the Dragon Tail from Aramis, but yeah, he's trying to get his own Blink Dagger too, because he's super poor. 2,800 net worth to the 4,400 of the Lion, and Sox has got Blink already done, so.
So I guess this is one of the things about the support DK, that if things do start to slow down, the action's not there, you're not going to have an easy time really picking up the farm, grabbing the goal.
No.
To keep up with the rest of the game, really.
No, you're never really going to level your breathe fire much as these 4-position DKs, unless you have some like outrageous start where you're super over leveled. This is this build you're going to have. So you don't have a farming mechanic. You're just a stun and you're just kind of tanky. You're just a damage reduction with your breathe fire inside team fight, so you throw that onto the Dusa. A lot slower of a game though. 6-4, 16 minutes. I think last game we had like 11-11 around like the 20-something minute mark, but kind of expected when we had this Alchemist Medusa draft.
And as you say, as the moments pass, Viking definitely going to be feeling the pressure more and more. Manta done. We'll be seeing this Medusa, slowly progress and stay far ahead of anyone else in the game. Shad's going to have to hit something big here once he gets the Blink and Shard done. And the Blink Dagger nearly is there for the axe. It's all just going to be a test for Viking here. Are they going to hit this timing where they can bring a fight to Samael before Samael's prepared for it mid? Catch on to Aramis. Samael joining forces here with the rest of them. Fingers out from Soxa, and that's Aramis down. It's definitely proving to have a bit of a tough time to just find the space to achieve much at all right now. Soxa on the support DK, and now the dive here from Thompson. The coil onto Kezu, and boom, No-Tail trying to step up. No hook shot, of course, still on. Caught up for 30 seconds, and looks like No-Tail's going to get baited in a little bit there by Thompson's Dream Coil. Ends up stepping under the tier 1 tower, and Viking easily dispatch of him.
Poor No-Tail. He gets baited by Thompson a lot.
He does.
I just gotta say it. Like that, we saw it last game happen like 3 times where he's like, Thompson, I got your back, and then he just dies. Continue to get those stacks going. They force all of Viking toward the mid lane with that push. Even though they lose No Tail, they get the map, you know, all focused there. And Sumail will continue to get that farm.
The jungle has
Seb works on some more stacks, and he is going to go for pipe after having this force staff done, so he's still getting quite a lot of growth.
Yeah, he's not necessarily going to pull over straight away after the ice blast connects to the middle of the team fight. Talk about team fights kicking off right now over to the mid. They get the jump in onto Celery. Over towards Aramis as well. Aramis trying to get away here. The right clicks from Sumail along with the snake. It's enough. 2 quick kills here for OG. And now looking for more. Saxa looks for the Hex. Shad's trying to come over the counterplay. Gets the call off onto Saxa. Sumail's charging him with the Stone Gaze. Boom having to put the BKB to get out to the side. Thompson jumping in. He's actually going to jump into his death. Boom's able to turn with the right click, take him out. Shad's still alive, forcing back Saxa with the battle hunger. Saxa trying to hide in the trees. Shad, could he quite find him? Force off to the side. Saxa breaks himself away, but Shad's able to get in with the battle hunger again. Burns down Saxa.
They're respawning.
He might not be done yet. He's maybe looking for the opportunity to jump for more. He's going to have the blink up in a few seconds. Not going to chase up to the high ground. Sumail and Seb will make it away. Shad turning up for sort of the first bit of action that he's been able to get involved in, and we'll be able to have a solid kickback there against OG.
They got out with their cores, right? Yeah, Boom got away as well as that actually ended up being pretty damn good for Viking. Yeah. Keep the tower alive, they keep the cores alive too. Yeah, that ends up working out nicely, and Kezu gets the last touch. I think actually Boom got the last touch onto Thompson too. So
I did Thompson. I mean, he really wanted to get Boom. Boom was so low.
So
Thompson
aggressive.
Jumping in for that. You know, he very much was playing for the play. I mean, he knew he was dead. He was going to die going in that aggressive, but of course was hoping to try and bring down Boom with him. Wasn't to be the case. Yeah, Boom able to just break his way around the tree line. Can't quite find the last hit. Boom, he can.
And this is all pre-shard, right? That's the important thing that I look at least for Shad, is
that's true.
He's about to have it now in the next 2 seconds. He's about to have that picked up, so his damage is going to skyrocket in the next few fights. And we also do see Kezu. He's got the pipe done, so that'll help a lot versus this Puck's damage. But on the other side too, we do see Seb. He also has the pipe too.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Things said and done with the lead that OG have net worth wise, and most of that being just the net worth that Seb's been able to farm up with that axe, of course, to Sumail. Shad's game so far, there's not really been any hiccups for him.
No,
Progression has the axe. I think it's gone pretty much as planned here for Vikings so far in this game too.
And I think we will, excitingly, get to actually see that matchup play in, right? The Axe versus Medusa, when they do both get this space to farm up, how the Axe is going to be able to deal with it. It is a Medusa who's jacked up, of course, from a free Aghanims, but yeah, either way. And this time we don't have Shad with any type of buff himself, right? We did have the Alacrity last game, where he was getting that Thronheim tune for the crazy spin potential with the counter helix, so doesn't have anything this time around. As OG, fine Celery.
Well, they found the AA. Having no hope for the AA here, and in fact, no.
Oh, and a hook shot.
Let's try and set up for more Boom. It's going to be pushed back, but the BKB's out. They'll turn. Now they'll look with the jump for Shad. They'll get in with the control onto No Tail. Laguna's down. No Tail will fall. They weren't quite able to chain stun Boom there. Saxon was around. I guess was just unable to get the Hex or the stun off in time after the Cog pushback.
Yeah, I actually didn't get this click on him in time if it was on cooldown or something from like from the move, but yeah, couldn't get it in time. And at least it's a BKB use, so it's, you know, one more instance of tick down for just a 5-position clockwork. That's what No Tail will tell you.
At least I suppose. I mean, Sumail, Butterfly, pretty much done.
He's still huge.
Gold and the talismans there. I mean, it is going to really come down to how much of effect they have against the Medusa in the fights. Obviously, that evasion is going to be something here. Well, Chad does get the jump on him.
He is going to hit really hard too. He's not going for the Scotty build. He's going for straight right click mid.
He stepped into the trap here. Saxa and Thompson, they're ready and waiting. Hookshot over towards Boom. Boom's BKB still on cooldown for 10 seconds. Kezu will get the poison Nova off. Boom. The movement speed in the back of the Celery. He's going to turn with the Laguna onto No Tail. No Tail getting right down by Boom. Thompson turns towards here. Saxa. Heavy damage here from the right clicks of Celery. Celery will die here to the turnaround from Sumail. still have to be so careful how close they get to Sumail. I say that though, Aramis, he's going to jump in aggressively with the Dragon Tail onto Sumail. He wants to get in onto this Medusa Shad. He's looking for the blink capability onto Puck, but Puck won't be able to find him. Thompson's able to phase in time. The claw won't grab him. Sumail popping the stone gaze to deter the rest of Viking from pushing the fight any further as OG will back off. Saxa does expend a buyback for this.
Yeah, he looks like he thought they were going to go on him, but they were actually completely out of mana, so a bit of a wasted one there from the Lion. Crazy fight. Thompson dropping low a couple times there. Kezu getting his ult off is what makes him have to stop kind of going for these aggressive moves. He drops like super. If he gets hit by the AA blast, he was dead on Thompson. He just missed him. Still very close, but definitely seeing Sumail just be the absolute beast this game. Butterfly done. He's got the talent now too, so he's hit 20. That free ags. And he's just that much tankier now. Up top.
Top lane. Aramis. Doesn't look like he has many routes of escape. Trapped in the cogs.
His team's
in
coming.
The acid spray. They do have a blast coming in. I mean, Concoction that is certainly taking their time to bring down Aramis, and with the backup of Boom, they're actually not going to be able to do so. Aramis, this DK support, tanky enough to walk away from the two of them. They don't even really get that close at all to taking him out. Thompson jumps in. Orb out to the side, does have a Dream Call available. He's going to use it to hold back Shad as OG. They're backing off Sumail. He's not quite close enough to get involved in this fight. He's starting to make his way over, but already No Tail's been taken out. Seb will try and turn and throw a concoction in, but Shad's in with a blink straight on top of the Alchemist. They've caught Seb. Seb getting dunked down by Shad. Boom pops the BKB. Thompson having to jump out into the trees. He's having to hide. This is not a fight that OG want to take any sort of part in anymore now, with two heroes already being taken down.
Aramis just a bit too tanky. The double fluffy hats.
Yeah.
And, you know, his max dragon blood. They couldn't bring him down before the team got there.
Certainly showing his worth, even with the sort of slowdown in farm he did have at the beginning of the game. And at this point, he's now on par with that of Saxon. So covering rather nicely with the way he's been able to survive in these engagements. And
he's gone for his own greed. He's gone the Fireball, Owen. He doesn't go for any Force Staff, no funny business to buff up his teammates or anything. Nope, he goes for Fireball.
I mean, I like it. I like it. It's going to be great for sort of the scaling, you know, allowing him to farm, push out waves and such. And he's also playing against some of these heroes. Well, the big one, right, this Dusu, it's going to be fairly static in the team fights. Good control, Dragon Tail is the stuns, the Lina and the AA. A lot of damage will be done over the duration of this Fireball laying on the ground.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know what else he would have bought for his own greedy build to make himself continue growing. So yeah, this is going to be great for always for this split push constantly too, because now, of course, you don't have to be inside of your DK farm to use it. So look at bottom, he clears out the wave very quickly. So yeah, that's cool. Sure. And we do see the switch up this time. Shad, he doesn't go for the threshold. He goes for the HP regen. Guess he's feeling like these longer drawn out fights this time will be a bit better for them since they do have the Venom. And it does look like we do have another Ags about to be done. So Seb, that next one will go on to the Puck. So Thompson, jump up toward the top of that net worth very quickly. And those BKBs, the Lina as well as the Axe, that'll make it quite a bit more troublesome for them when the Clockwork gets on top of them.
Yeah, you like to switch up from Sumail as well, going for the Swift Blink rather than the earlier queued up Skadi?
I guess it's just so that he can like get in front of the Axe at all times, so he can always get the Stone Gaze off. Maybe he doesn't feel like he's gonna die. I feel like the Skadi's just the safer route. This is a lot more risky.
And maybe feeling as well that he can, you know, sort of outplay some of these jumps from Viking.
Yeah.
Get that blink off dodge that he attempted, maybe jump call from the Axis. Not gonna be easy.
It feels so much safer and better just to go for the Skadi, to be honest, because he has the Puck Ags too that can hold him in place, but yeah, I don't know. Because it also lowers the heal reduction. It's good for piercing the BKBs to slow them down, but hey, if Sumail wants to go for a Swift Blink, sure, why not?
Well, it's definitely the flashier of the two.
Sure.
And, you know, Sumail, I think he's definitely going to be feeling the lead that he has. He knows that, you know, he is very strong right now in this game. This Medusa level 22. The items that he has, he's incredibly stacked. So just going full in on his ability to just frontline these fights as it is, and he needs the damage with this Agi to take down the heroes at the beginning.
He does need to just not get avoided either. I think that's the biggest thing, is that they're just going to try to kite him with the Venom wards and all that, slowing him and resetting away from him. He has bought the ulti orb, so I think he might just be baiting you with the Swift Blink a little bit there.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, it just had it for the blink pickup, and then back for the Skadi. With that orb pickup.
Hey, Flash Scout. They're going to start it.
Sure, Viking will want to have something to say about this. Shad's, Shad is available to head over, and Ice Blast alone. Enough to make OG think twice about how much they want to commit for this. Smoke up from OG.
Kezu's gone for a Vanguard instead of... I thought he was going to go for Halberd this game because he's versus Medusa, but he's going for Crimson Guard rather than Halberd. Bit interesting.
Oh,
Sumail's
in with the blink. Ready to start off the action straight away on to Kezu. They're able to burst him with the finger. Kezu's gone. Quick jump up to the high ground. Catches Kezu off guard.
That should be enough for the Roche. I don't think they can contest without the Veno.
To be Shad not having any interest in charging over and looking for any crazy players. For him as the position one, he can't take those risks. We'll just continue to try and keep the waves pushed out with the illusions. That will give OG the chance to claim that rush. Aegis picked up by Thompson.
They don't even give it to Sumail. He's feeling pretty immortal. 2400 HP, 2144 mana. Almost 25 as well, he's 23. And there's the Scott he picked up too, so...
Yeah, he's massive.
He really is. And he's got the Sliver too, right? So magic resist, as well as that status resist on top.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hitting hard. He is no joke.
See how much OG want to push it here with the benefit of the Aegis on Thompson. I mean, either way, as we say, the scalability of Sumail's Deuce this game, they're probably not feeling under too much pressure. They don't have to make any risky moves. And we saw in the last game, sometimes overstepping the mark, it did hurt OG. So understandably going to be a bit more careful this time round. Say that low, Thompson indeed. Caught the once. Backup coming in from OG. I mean, are they able to do anything about this? Thompson, he's off to the side looking for Boom. Boom still has the BKB available. Boom's just going to go for the TP out right underneath the nose of Thompson. Thompson's got nothing to cancel it. As Boom makes it away. Not even having to pop the BKB. TP back to base will save the two of them.
Okay, and that's the Aegis.
Maybe not quite lost in the fashion that OG hoped to use it in that.
I don't think Thompson expected to just get grabbed like that. I don't think he thought that both cores were in the area together, but Viking still playing very much as a unit still. Like I even see top, like Aramis showed top, they saw like a hero show for a second, the Axe TP's top, so still looking to play off of each other nicely. No tail. Just get forced out of that high ground.
Be careful how they play around Boom now. Boom's going to be hitting pretty darn hard with this MKB.
Seb. That's on himself. And Sumail actually doesn't go for... Okay, I thought maybe he would because this is like that type of game for it. The spider legs, but he just keeps the Sliver. So I guess he's just really looking to be that tanky beast. And I mean, the base damage, I think people always forget about this. Like, it's a really good item just for if you have gone for this type of just like straight agi damage items too. It's quite relevant on heroes like Medusa.
Oh, for sure. Well, we might see him still shift into the realms.
Might shift.
Having a movement speed neutral once he's in a position to sell the trade, to pick up the 6th item.
For sure.
See how it goes down when it comes to approaching the high ground here if OG want to push it. To say that they're going to be careful about this. They're not going to feel too much pressure to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, I think also after the first game, right? Like discipline, absolutely. I think is something that OG needed to get a little bit better on. So I think this is a much better approach this time. Just farm the map. You've got the late game scaling this time for sure. So.
Accelerate.
Ooh, top, they could see top Seb. Oh, just a love tap from Boom.
I mean, yeah, Boom does get the Yule set up. He could have the damage to take down Seb. Deals out a lot with this MKB.
That looked like he was like trying to swing inside the tree line there, and then he just accidentally auto-attacked Seb with the quiver because of the attack range. But there was vision of him anyway. There was a ward from OG. As Aramis, he's getting farm. You know, this fireball, it's working. He had the Ags queued up for a second on DK. Now he's switching to Halberd, trying to find solutions for this Medusa.
Shad charging in.
He gets hexed.
Needs this ward though. OG fully aware of the angle that Shad's approaching from. Now Seb's going to look for the jump back in with a concoction. Shad still the BKB and another blink up. Shad can still close the gap. He's going to get in on to Seb. Sumail in with the backup. BKB comes out from Boom with a hook shot out as well as the damage from Sumail. Boom's trying to step back, but the right click from Sumail is too much. As Boom gets taken down, Dream Coil controls Shad. Sumail, he'll be able to clean up the two of them.
Those are huge kills. 70 seconds, no Lina. 80 seconds, no Axe. That's very likely a set unless they are just going to have to buy back.
Is under attack.
Sumail now 25. He's got the split shot modifiers. Now he's going to be able to buy that Swift Blink. He's huge.
I mean, he can pretty much just jump up to the high ground and take down these tier 3s and barracks, and very little that Viking will be able to do against him, it seems, with how large he is. A clear 10k net worth against anybody else in the game right now. The plan certainly working out so far here from OG when it comes to just sitting back Sumail, just allowing him to get to this point. They're ready to break the base, and what have Viking got in store to be able to take down this Medusa, even with the full lineup alive, which they don't have for 30 seconds. Very hard to see how they bring the Sumail down 100 to 0.
Yep, and he's buffed up. I mean, we've got the pipe, we've got the Solar Crest constantly being thrown onto him too, and every time his Snake returns, especially if it hits either Kezu, the AA, or the Lina, he's pretty much full mana restored.
Here we have it, OG. The head up, they take the racks. Nothing at all that can be done by Viking. OG, again, as we said, sticking to the discipline, backing out, heading off. No need to get over aggressive, make mistakes. I think right now, it could even be sort of Sumail just calling the shots. You know, it's in their best interest to just follow, play around this Medusa, and allow Sumail to close the game up in the safest fashion that he possible.
Yeah, now at this point, like, as long as you don't make some drastic mistakes, if you just play together as a team, like, you've got this game. You've got it in the bag. You see the Spider Legs now passed off to Sumail. He's got a crit, I believe, finished up too, so he wants to open up a slot. Or a small crit, not quite the Daedalus yet, but soon. Yeah, just keep playing around him. Viking, they're going to need... It really does feel like Shad needs to get to like a 3-man call, but I haven't seen OG really playing together like that at all, so...
Much pressure on Viking to make some sort of crazy move, catch OG off guard, try and break them down one by one, outside and away from Sumail's reach as the Medusa.
That's really how it has to be. They just have to, like, you have to catch Thompson somehow at the start of the fight, kill him, and then kill all the rest up, and then somehow bring down Sumail. Or just find Sumail if he's completely alone, nowhere near his team, but that should never happen. The way that OG's been playing. That's not easy for Viking at all this game.
The big parts of the Axe AA combo last game really was the potential of the global cataclysm, especially the double cataclysm we saw coming into the later parts of the game. And whilst Boom will still be able to do some severe damage with the reach and right click that he has with the B build, it's just not going to have the same sort of potency and ease of execution as the Invoker on top of the Axe AA had in last game.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Invoker has like the infinite kind of scale potential. Sure, Lina does if you're snowballing the game, if you're getting like this really good kills and getting yourself these items accrued and you're level 25 at this point, but yeah, it's not going to be the case. And also, it's just like, Shad is an Axe versus a Lion, so he can't get as farmed as he was last game. Like, your Axe illusions just die. They get sent and they just get hexed and mana drained and they're gone. Soxa didn't even go for the shard this game until I think maybe he's bringing it out now or in a bit, but either way, it's slowed down the Axe's farm so much. And yeah, this game is very impossible now at this point.
It certainly feels like it. 22k lead, Sumail pretty much entirely kitted out. Daedalus Stun, he's even got the full Hurricane Pike coming out to him. He has certainly finished farming here, I think, as OG feels like we are getting into the territory where OG could dive pretty darn deep, but as long as Sumail keeps his cool, hits the objectives, they're probably going to be able to take away the base of Viking without Viking managing to do much to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting way too much farm. It's like almost AC now finished for the Alchemist. Medusa's getting for everything. The whole map is free for them, and they just farm at that way faster pace. Thompson's not at risk of dying anymore either because he has Lincolns, so he can split push lanes freely, and Vikings just trapped in their base. I've seen Kezu in the base now for like 4 minutes. They can't get outside. Meanwhile,
still away from his AC.
Now we get the tier 4s, and also Roche is up. So now you're forced into a position here as Viking. You have to farm your neutrals to try to get those tier 4s, but you also have to constantly be scouting the Roche pit. As the Hex bottom, the stun.
Yep, they've got the setup. Shad, is he going to be able to get out in time? OG bringing everybody in here to try and take down this Axe. They've got the coil control. Hook shot in as well from No Town. Shad taken out. Is OG ready to swing straight over potentially towards this mid lane, towards maybe the Roshan while Shad's down for 80. I mean, even with the full squad of Viking up, OG probably had the power to take the Rosh. One man down, they definitely do. Very hard for Viking to put a stop to this.
Yeah, full AC now. It's done now for Seb, so yeah, this is going to die in no time. Just a couple of seconds here. Shard. Didn't give it to Sumail this game? I guess you could just give it to Seb for the Berserk Potion. It might just be better, but I see the buyback coming up from Shad. We'll try to contest it.
To sort of spook OG a little bit, but they step out of the pit. Not wanting to get caught inside it by the jump from either Aramis or Shad. But give a little bit of space here to Viking. Still, of course, not heading away from the action. OG, they will happily take a fight around the pit.
They've got Chemical Rage back up now for Seb, so he's ready to act a little bit more of that front line. He was waiting till it. He's ninja geared on the side. Or actually, they're smoke, sorry. He does have a ninja gear at the ready, too.
The last time from OG, a jump up to this high ground did grant them some quick kills to start the action off. Shad, the call. Now let's try and force Sumail away to break him out of the combo, and it'll do so. Gets the stone gates off Sumail. He's ready to turn. Aramis, he's going to be taken down low. They are stunning Sumail up. Dragon Tail as well. They're certainly reducing the potential for Sumail to get the damage done. And still, Celery will fall. Seb is able to run down Shad to the side. The stun follow-up there from Saxon. They keep the axe locked down. Shad will get the call off, but Sumail's able to get him with the damage. There's 3 dead on Viking. Even with their best efforts there to control Sumail, it isn't nearly enough. They cannot control or deal with this Medusa anywhere close to as long as they need to stop Sumail in his tracks. So Sumail, he's going to continue to charge on straight down mid. The victory, it's straight in his sights now.
Yeah, they kind of did like 0 damage to him, Owen. They took out his mana pool, but that's pretty much it. And everybody from OG still alive. Perfect connection as Bells is. Yeah, it's time to clean this one up. 80 seconds, no X.
Here we are, the tier 4s getting taken out. They've got a fortification, but you know Shad having to do this without their strongest member, as we've seen in the action, isn't even really that strong at all this game. Maybe 18 to 18 the kills even, but 33k lead. Sumail just being able to rack up an insane amount of farm to the point where he is just this monster of a Medusa that Viking have no answer to whatsoever. Into the base, mega creeps are taken here by OG. The traps there on the Kezu. No tell, hook shot over towards Aramis. Sumail just ready to pad up the KDAs. The game will come to an end. GG is called. OG with a very much safer approach here to this game too. They look pretty unstoppable with this execution. The strategy much cleaner and built around a Sumail Medusa, the Viking. Maybe with the Axe Airs that some of the power.
Towers, mitigate that early jungle. Spectre can then buy enough time to come online. But yeah, Viking, they just need to be a bit more proactive, get Kezu into the game. Don't kind of put him on an island that was this kind of Veno from game 2.
Well, let's find out what's going to happen in this exciting game 3. We're heading over to our commentary team of ODPixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, this is all very important. Game 3 now between OG and Viking. Fog, what do we make of it? Sort of the panel touched upon Viking. They've got the big old Spectre ready for the late game. They have got a lot of timings that they are going to have to be playing around and sort of very much staggering their approaches at the objectives in comparison to the pace and frequency that the OG can bring fights in. Do you like it here, or are you a little concerned against OG with sort of, as PPD said, the strength of Sumail on the Drow Ranger and his ability to carry?
Looks like OG this time they've gone for more like this like laning domination, right? Until just like grouping up and going together. While I feel like for Viking, it's a lot of like team fight. With the sector factor coming just to counteract the Drow. So it's, I kind of agree with. You could also see them potentially just getting like 10 minutes where the lanes they're not active in the first 10-15 minutes, and then I feel like OG just farms the whole map and they're just going to have the super farm Drow Ranger that might not be addressed unless like these perfect haunts come out. So a bit concerned for Viking, because they also have to think about their lineup is also needs to walk directly in, right? Like wrapping around on the back and stuff like that can be a little bit difficult until you do have, let's say, like the blink on DK or Lion, or you use the haunt exactly that to get to the back of the false promise and stuff. Or I feel like OG's draft is like pretty fine with that. That's kind of how they want to play into this draft. Like they're just going to be like, okay, you want to run into us? That means I'm going to get a full link off. That means I'm going to be able to set up my positioning for my Drow Ranger. And this Death Prophet's going to have to run through everything to try to find the backline. So it just feels like it's a bit difficult for Viking when they don't have that vision aspect or when they don't have those key initiating blinks.
30 seconds to battle.
Let's see. Well, we do know that the play, it certainly is there for Viking.
Sure is.
From what we saw in their first game. Playing very, very well in the opening against OG. Last game, very much was sort of somehow popping off, having the space to pop off the rest of the squad and the draft that OG got through against Vikings lineup. See how things play out here in this game through, with both teams taking a bit of a different turn with their drafts.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to see how Spectre's going to do versus this Alchemist Lina, because this is pretty similar to the Alchemist Lion. Sure, Lina can't set up for your stuns as easy, but now that it's so massive, it is kind of easy anyway. But there's going to be heals. There's always going to be like massive amounts of counteracting heals coming out from Celery onto the Spectre. And of course, we're going to have Dispersion skilled up, which is going to reflect a decent amount and just keep Shad healthy. So let's see if Shad gets more secured farm, because I think both games he was slowed down a bit as the Axe in the safe lane. I think as the Spectre, he should have a better time.
The backup of Celery.
Yeah, we'll see though. We will see.
Sustain and save. The other matchups, the mid lane, DP against Razor. I mean, all in all, is it easier for Boom to sort of flash farm the mid? You know, his new compared to what Thompson's going to be able to burst with the plasma field, and the fact that Thompson's just not going to have a chance to utilize the static link in the lane.
I'd say it's DP favored, yeah. Not massively, but it's definitely DP favored.
Yeah, both
you have the movement speed too. That's the thing, is you have 30 move speed. So the thing about Razor is you want to be able to get at least like a small instance of link off.
Yeah,
it can be tough versus a Death Prophet. If she rushes boots too, which I mean I assume Boom probably won't. He probably still will just go like bottle or just null or something like that. But either way, it's going to be hard for Thompson to get those.
And how are things for pressure on Sumail on the top lane to start off with this duo? You know, you see this Lion and DK and feel that they're going to be able to mess with the Drow on the early levels.
I'm waiting to see what Kezu skills for. Let's see if he does go for Breathe Fire, because Breathe Fire does make it a little annoying, just like slowing down your CS because of damage reduction. But I feel like Sumail should be pretty decent with double ranged versus this DK Lion.
That was genius. That was genius.
Quite a bit of damage there, walking past the two of them.
Sure did.
They have a regen in this lane. Celery's fully kitted out and regen, so he's going to have a fair bit to keep Shad staying in the lane nice and strong and give Shad his best efforts at getting the CS against the pressure of Saxtra and Seb early on.
Yeah, let's see if Shad can actually get anything down here. Right now it's just 1-1. Yeah. So he hasn't gotten much of any last hits. Celery also getting pressured really hard, so they're never going to be able to slow down Seb is the other awkward thing too. So it's pretty tough lane really for Viking. I thought maybe the Spectre could hold off a little better because he's got 8 armor under tower, but still too annoying. Aramis top. He's the one who has to watch out with his positioning on the line. Kezu should never die. I mean, I don't think he ever will either up here, unless it's a third hero. But Aramis, he could get brought down pretty easy as soon as they hit 2 on OG.
Look to make the pull across here. We'll be able to grab the wave. So we'll help shift things back in Vikings' favor when it comes to momentum. A little tricky for No Telling Sumail to really get over and do anything about that.
And Boom going for the bottle. He actually gets linked up 39 damage right there. And now you see the Razors winning in the last hits in mid because he gets that 39 damage. He gets 4 denies because of it. So yeah, Boom, maybe just rushing for that bottle. You know why you want it, but at the same time, like these matchups, it is very important to always remember just these little type of counteract things. So that might hurt him in these next few waves.
And you imagine, you know, from Seb, the fact that you do want to sort of make sure that Sumail has the best game possible, you again do just get that axe as the first major item for the ALK, or is it not quite as important this game to rush it?
I thought last game he was actually going to hold off on it a little bit more, so I think this one it's even more so that he should rush it, yeah, versus for the Drow, just to protect versus this Spectre. It also does increase the farm potential a lot of a Drow Ranger. That Aghanim, the split shot is really nice, actually.
It does. Lane-wise, you know, this game, Sumail definitely off to a bit of a slower start. Kezu and Aramis But actually at the setup onto N0tail, straight over towards the backlines. They find themselves to kill. KheZu burning down N0tail for the first blood. Sumail trying to take Aramis out. Return Aramis is going to have to stun back up. And Sumail, he will get the kill, has got a fairy fire also. So they're able to step out back to the safety of his tower. Kicking off indeed on that top lane. And as we're certainly seeing, whatever happens, you know, with these two duos clashing heads, KheZu, he's going to pretty much walk out of everything at full HP as this deep. He's never going to be under any sort of danger or heat from these two heroes alone.
Yeah, he just needs to make sure he always has mana so they can look to turn for those aggressive plays, potentially maybe going for like a soul ring early on since he does have that ring of protection.
Yeah.
Could look to help, but they've slowed down Sumail decently. You know, he's 14 last hits. He's doing better than the Spectre though, which is pretty big.
That's true. Shad definitely having a tougher time as we have come to see from him, you know, each game really this series, Seb and Saxa, not making things easy for Shad on the first few waves of the game.
No, and look at Chad again. Like, he is just getting hit and hit and hit. And that was without even an acid spray being thrown down from Seb.
On top, N0tail.
N0tail again.
Not a whole lot he can do apart from maybe look for a deny to the creeps, and he will get it.
Okay.
Creeps take him out. Kills himself to the stack.
He's pulling at least some aggression off of Sumail, but they actually get the pull off up here now too. So full wave is going to get denied away from Sumail, and he will have a slow stop. But again, I mean, Shad, he's gotten 0 CS in the time that Sumail just got 7. I'm watching Sox and Seb just every time he even walks up for a range creep, acid sprays down, and he potentially just gets stunned up. So Celery has to secure range creeps with a miscoil down here. He's at 5 last hits.
I mean, it really is just going to be such a slow game for Shad. I mean, last 2 games, he's on the axe. No, short Spectre at a certain point with the levels, you're able to pretty safely hit the neutrals with the dispersion leveled up, but it's not going to be at the same sort of catch-up pace as he was able to achieve playing the carry axe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Thompson, he's come out ahead in the lane. You know, these 12 denies, they'll definitely add up.
Yeah.
Got the boots in the bottle super early on. We saw Boom, he delayed his boots a little bit, and it definitely hurt Thompson. In a very comfortable spot. Aramis looking to make a move, perhaps to slow that down. Also, we have level 6 online, so Exorcism plus Catapult Wave. This could be huge if they can get onto Thompson. And they know KheZu's safe up top. 2 heroes, he should just be fine. And here we go.
Straight in. Get the wraparound set up onto Thompson. TP's coming in to try and help out the Razor. Saxa catch Aramis here with the stun. Thompson, he's got the movement speed to get out across the trees. Won't be able to finish Thompson off as Thompson's able to start bottling back up. Boom, Aramis and Celery have to be a little careful even with the Exorcism out. 3 of them rather low on the HP and the mana.
And the thing is too, like, they went before the enemy siege creep had died already, so their siege is now just going to walk into tower and die, and they got pretty much 0 damage on tower with that Exorcism. Instead of going for the kill there, I think if they were a little bit more patient, they just go for tower push.
And now
As now Celery.
He's going to be able to get himself a freebie, catching Celery in the river. Thompson's able to swing back in, get the kill. As you say, you look at the tower, only about 200 damage done there off that first usage of the Exorcism. When you do have this DP and DK in a game where you've got to try and keep the pressure on as these 2 cores and take attention away from the Spectre, if you're not taking the early towers, the plan's going to be harder and harder for Viking to execute.
I think they just jumped the gun. I think they were just like so keen on going for the kill that they were just like, wait, we didn't do it the normal approach where you just wait till the siege dies, you have your siege advantage, then you push with the tower with your actual creep wave going. But yeah, they just go for the kill and they end up getting nothing out of it. That was a pretty big loss for Viking. I feel like OG has to be very happy. Now they get a ward down too for that next rotation. So when they go for doing that again, it's going to be spotted. And they're starting to get stacks started. Pretty big for OG this last movement. May seem small, but it's quite massive when we're talking about how they have to play with their DK and their Death Prophet Exorcism at its maximum in this game so that they don't just get out farmed again, like game 2.
Stage is hit. Wasep is off to the safety of the jungle.
Yep.
Clearing through the stacks. And, on track to once again get a very good Axe Rush timing for Sumail.
And they are protected. They've got so many wards down in the area now to protect Seb. Just because they saw that first push coming the way Vikings set up for it, now they know. This is like immediately like stuck in their mind. So okay, they're going to go for another pressure play.
I mean, now they've got 6 hit. And they feel that they're going to have good damage to try and push KheZu back, at least force him to pop out of the lane, or at least TP to the tower.
Okay. Celery tries to walk in. I think, was he trying to ward or something? I'm not sure. He was trying to do something there, but Thompson just swings over for a second, stops him from going toward anything to slow down Seb's Alchemist, who already has 2 components done, Owen.
Timings and more attention thrown the way of Thompson, but not quite able to get a catch on him. Thompson just keeping himself at a safe distance. We'll see what Boom does now. Exorcism ready to go again. It's got to achieve more than it did the first time round.
They're going to be ready, though. Like, OG's going to be so ready for this movement. The D-Ward's going to come out from Aramis to level 3 Lion, level 4 Abaddon. How's the supports on OG looking? 4 and 5, almost 6 on the Lina. So they're getting much more out of the map because Viking supports are just sitting there. They're sitting there waiting for the opportunity to go for this Exorcism push. But OG's like, okay, you guys play your game, which is kind of doing nothing at this point, and we'll play ours of farming efficiently with our stacks.
Efficiently, they will. It's much more efficiently than Shad's able to do so in return.
Yeah.
It's going to take him a long time, even with the Blade Mail rush. Just unable to really clear through camps and neutrals at a pace that's comparable to that of this.
And he doesn't...
Drow, and a Drow that is going to be handed an Aghanim Scepter within the minute, just 500 gold away from itself.
And it's the Blade Mail Spectre where sometimes you can go to like Ancients and you can clear on Ancients. He doesn't have Ancient stack. He has 1 Ancient. And then he has a triple Heart Camp, which sure, he can work through that one, but as you mentioned, this Drow's already gonna have Ags. And he's got Ancient stacks prepared for him too. Only 1 or 2, but...
I mean, it may be some sort of change up in the heroes, but...
Feels similar.
It's looking to be a bit of a repeat of what sort of direction the OG took towards the success they found in game 2.
And it feels like they're getting even, I want to say even more farm. Like I'm watching Saksa for the last 3 minutes just be bottom by himself. Lead, yeah. He's just in he's like a 4 position who's a 3 almost at this point now because Seb's just jungling. They're not getting any pressure on them, and this has to be concerning for Viking. They get the top tower with Kezu. Mid tower though is only missing 240 HP when you have a Death Prophet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe missing that early timing, that one opportunity that they had with the first ult. Quite waiting for things to slide into place as they needed to do so, and now
Ags is online.
Just being in sort of an awkward position. Now, who can they make the moves around? Kezu, he's playing towards his Blink Dagger, 1300 gold in towards it.
Not bad.
Boom. Very hard for him to find a chance, as you say, because OG will be prepared to hold on to this tier 1 tower mid. Even Sumail turning up to farm this mid lane, they're that confident that they can keep such a firm, safe hold of this area still at 10 minutes in.
And look at the Drow's HP. It's like, you look at the heroes on Viking, you're like, oh, they have decent burst damage with Finger, Breathe Fire, Dagger, etc. Now he's got a free Aghanim, so on Strength Shreds, he's 1700 HP. It's like not even a Drow Ranger anymore at this point, who was just sitting at 800 HP before this, or 900 HP on Agi Treads.
Yeah, and your biggest burst really is the Finger. Other than that,
it is the Finger.
It's going to rely on Viking being able to stay on top of the Drow. Drow, Sumail, he's got the best save in the game. He's going to have No-Tail behind him. No-Tail's hit the 6. It's not easy to get on top of Sumail's Drow. No-Tail is going to be able to do a solid job of saving him. As you mentioned at the start, there isn't a hero like that Clockwork that was so crucial for Viking in terms of catching No-Tail in game 1. Mid lane, look at the setup onto Aramis. They're going to come in for Horn, look towards Saxa. Saxa caught in the river, but the false promise comes out. Saxa will live a little longer. He's going to lift the TP back to base. He's back into the fountain. Shad's going to end up getting taken down as OG just kite him up. Sumail stands on the high ground, take him out. 3 heroes dead. That was in another attempt with the Exorcism. I mean, and an attempt that just falls flat on its face here from Viking. Game 2, that started to look pretty much impossible for Viking at the 20 or so minute mark. Already 12 minutes in, it really does feel like the plan that Viking came into this match with has sort of been lost completely.
Absolutely. They couldn't even kill the Lina Owen. The false promise saves Saksa. Yeah. He gets back. He gets back. Sumail shows up. They don't even have everybody there. They only have like 3-4 heroes. Thompson comes in at the end just for a swing around to clean up. 7,000 gold lead, 12 minutes. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. You have, like we said, they have like good burst spells, but they couldn't kill anybody there. And this is a very low level of Abaddon now, level 5, as we've said. You know, the support's struggling, and everyone on Viking struggling now.
Even with, you know, the factor of the Alchemist, it's still, you know, pretty insane to see just the number of Sumail's net worth, the same net worth as 2 cores of Viking put together at this very early timing of 12 minutes in. He is just having a great time, and already, you know, early days in the qualifier, first series for these 2 teams, but I think a lot of the squads will be watching this from OG, and, you know, this whole idea, you know, Seb on the out, getting that early axe towards Sumail. you've got to wonder how many times are we going to see this? How many times are we going to see this get let through? Is this something that teams are going to feel they have to take away from OG? Because the 2 games we've seen it so far, it's looking pretty simple for OG.
Agreed. I think they definitely have to have thought of something else there, especially if they didn't, with the AA axe, if they weren't able to deal with it, and then they left it again this time, you know, it's a concern. 9K lead, OG getting to do pretty much whatever they want on the map. See, I don't know the timing here for Viking is the scare. I think the timing really is, I think you already missed, you missed your big timings. You had to get these like early tier 1s set up when you could go with your team, but now you're so far behind. And Chad just has nowhere to farm now. That was your first haunt usage, and you got completely smashed earlier.
Yeah, the haunts, the exorcisms, they've just not been cutting it here for Viking.
Okay, so blink on DK. So they got to go again. You can't just sit back. The thing is, you have to make these moves happen anyway on Viking. Even though it didn't work this last time, I think you have to smoke, try to get on Notel with this blink on Kezu, and then go for the rest of the targets. That Celery just is dead.
Yep, Samel's pretty much level 12, so the damage from him is going to be pretty outrageous hitting these early levels at just the 14 minutes. And still, as you say, when is this Spectre going to be a threat? Now, what is Shad going to be able to offer?
Notel?
Against the heck? All right, well, that's a free one.
He was on the enemy high. He was in the trees in the enemy high.
Right.
He just last hit a range creep and then just got jumped. That's Kezu, though.
He's ready with the buyback. He's going to come with the buyback. They've got the concoction down on Kezu. It certainly looks to be it. The Gust comes out onto Aramis. Seb actually have the damage there to finish off the Lion. So Bait won't grant them any instant kills. Thompson does still manage to sweep him from the side. They will get Aramis. Thompson, he's even looking to dive in for more. He's got the link in onto Celery. It will back off with the fortification pop. The damage from the tower starting to kick in. Thompson steps away, not looking to make the mistakes that were made in the first game of the series.
That was the DK form and the exorcism pop though, and they can't touch the tower again. And straight into the Roche pit OG. Now there's no ults. They only have a haunt available. There's no way Viking can fight this again.
Yeah, I guess that was the plan from Notel all along.
He'll tell you that. I mean, I think he just walked up and tried to last hit a range creep with Purifying Flames and got caught, but it ends up working out for them.
There we go. Aegis on Samel. Even if you are able to get on top of this drought, you've got to deal with him twice. It's not going to be easy at all.
No. And Sab even buys another early game item. He buys them a drum. So they're even stronger when they are as this unit. And Viking, yeah, they need to, let's see what level our Death Prophet is actually. So Boom, I feel like hit level 12. And then your level 2 Exorcism could still do decent damage, but you have to get these jumps. It's just not easy when they're all so tanky now. 2,200 HP on Thompson plus Sab also tanking. Everyone's just so... At least the main targets, the ones that you have to get through, because you can't get into these backline squishies. Only the Spectre can. And Shad is not at a point where he wants to really jump into the backline by himself.
No, he needs to, at least until he has the Manta, then he has a potential to getting in with the illusions, maybe threatening one of the lives of the separated supports. All that item's done. Actually, even swapping it up, going maybe the way of the Echo Saber, and he will invest in this. I mean, something that we are seeing on some of these carries nowadays.
Okay.
I mean, I like it. I'm obviously terrible at the game, but I do like this build myself. He probably feels that he's going for this because there is pressure. He knows that he's going to have to do something pretty soon.
He has to fight soon. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Echo Saber gives you that quick stats. It's obviously going to be a much easier, quicker pickup than him waiting for the full Manta style.
It's like one of the most valuable item pickups in the game now, period, on these melee heroes. That you need HP, you need some mana regen, here you go. Like that's why it's so popular in Slark before, and then people, I guess, just started realizing how good the item really is, right? Just gives you 5 extra strength. It gives you so much extra just out of picking it up. Double hit is no joke with Desolate either.
Absolutely not.
Tier 2 taken out, Outpost getting claimed. 50, dude, the gold lead just is getting it's getting too big too fast. He's almost worth 3 heroes now, Owen.
Samel, he's definitely been enjoying the last 2 games of this series. He would be, I'm sure he's looking forward to more games, more drafts from the squad that's going to enable him to play as he is. Just be this incredible beast of the carry that good luck getting anywhere close to. Keeping up with. You're just not going to be able to do so.
Saksa was thinking about going for him down bottom. Oh, of course, yeah, the prophecy, you know, the Grove Bow for the Drow. Why not? Insult to injury for poor Viking. Kezu getting some damage on tier 2.
Sweeping up, they know that some of Vikings up and not the full squad, just the 3 of them, Boom, Aramis and Kezu. See how carefully they keep themselves hidden. Seb, he's ready to charge in. He's in, jump forwards, look towards Aramis. They are able to tank at the stun off, so Seb won't be able to throw out the concoction. They are still able to catch Aramis within the AoE though, as Aramis will try his best to hide into the trees. Kezu's going to look for the TP out. Is he able to get out in time? He is. Not quite enough damage to bring down Kezu, as Kezu will escape. Aramis, on the other hand, will not. They take down the Lion. Kezu manages to live another day here.
Meanwhile, Thompson doing his own thing as usual. In the mid lane, diving into Baden. And Aramis just can't find anything in this game, right? No space for this Lion. 500 away from the Blink Dagger. Desperately needing that too, so they can have the ways to jump into backline together, collectively, with that Spectre and DK and Lion. Yeah, OG just continues to have all this control. It's really just Shad getting farm, and it's a huge concern when your Death Prophet's not able to keep getting this scale and going. Sure, she's got plate mail, sure, she's got Yules, and sure, she does have a save behind her, but it's not going to help that much versus all this crazy damage that the Drow starting to build up so quickly.
What do Viking do? Turn around, Boom. Maybe see if they can catch out OG making any aggressive mistakes, but sort of the extensions of game 1 that OG made that did lead to the fall of them later in the game. That's just not sort of happened in the 2nd or 3rd of this series. OG very much bringing out a much more serious, refined style of Dota that's looking very hard for Viking to crack.
They're kind of splitting up though a bit on OG. I do feel like Viking could punish a little bit when they do see like everyone on the map. Like they just saw 3 heroes showing, but
let's see if they can. Look the finger, but the pulse promise comes out. Thompson. Get out to side, Seb's heading over as well. Snow's actually going to be able to be saved here when they go coming out to Shad. And they're ready to turn Thompson back up to full HP. The control move, the DP is gone. As they save Thompson even like that. As you said, that sort of one chance where maybe they catch a member of OG out on their own. They could not quite do it. They just do not have the firepower.
I'm glad they at least tried for it. I think if they were a little bit quicker when they noticed that everybody was split up, because I think the ward that they have in the OG jungle, it saw the Lina for a second, and I think they saw like the Alchemist for a sec. That's why they go for this jump, but I think they hesitated a little bit too much. No-Tail, he saw it coming too. Gets the TP off. It was clutch by No-Tail, but yeah, game continues to just be pretty much impossible for poor Viking. That's all their ults for the 3rd time expended, and they can pretty much get nothing out of it again.
Back to the high ground, back to the base here for Viking. As OG take complete control of the map.
They're in just complete mode chill. It's almost satanic on Thompson. Seb has almost got the next Ags done. Everyone's just chilling. I mean, it is 2-9. It is 22,000 gold lead. We do have that 1K per minute that has been hit, which is usually the signs of GG.
Pretty insane numbers indeed. I mean, it's Sumail very much the sort of the core player, the carry player that, you know, this is kind of how you expect things to go when you involve Sumail in a situation where there's the mechanic of him getting this Aghanims given to him so early. You know, already Sumail, now he'll pop off and be a beast from the carry position without that. You give him that sort of extra benefit, and good luck dealing with the man. He's going to become a right terror, and he certainly has here 2 games in a row now.
All on ranged heroes too, I noticed. I'm gonna start watching out to see how much Sumail does play these melee heroes, because I was watching on some of his pubs too. He's like playing like the Tower Blades, the range carries. He's mostly just a ranged player, it feels like. I think Soxa's having the funnest game. This is probably like the funnest 4-position game ever. You literally have like no weight on your shoulders at all. You're just farming. You're just farming, playing your own game. No worries.
That was pretty much same net worth here as Kezu.
Yep.
As you said, definitely becoming sort of an extra 3 here for the side of OG.
Vikings looking to hit though. They're identifying that OGs are starting to split up everywhere. Trying to punish it.
And then they smoke up there, but a little bit of an unfortunate reveal as Aramis does make a hex move onto the illusion of Samael. So OG's going to be pretty much aware that the Vikings looking for action. Maybe not aware enough though. Samael. He puts the glass. They do still get him with the Dragon Tail stun. See if there's going to be any backup in time for Samael. There isn't. They get on top of the Drow. They bring him down. See if they can get more out of this. They turn over towards Thompson. Thompson just frontlining it, but the damage is too high. He charges straight back in. And just like that, Viking, against a 20k gold lead of OG, they've just taken down 2 cores plus no tail. I mean, against the odds here, Viking showing they've still got it to tackle OG despite the strength of their cores. Mispositioning, costing OG everything there, as maybe Viking can still pull something out against this incredible lead that OG has had for the first 20 minutes of the game.
They're gonna need that quite a few more times, but I'm so happy. I'm like asking for, right? Like they got to make a move when everyone's split up like that, and they do. They find the perfect catch, and then I think Thompson, he ran in because he popped Satanic and he ran to try to get to No-Tail, but he got blocked and just got shredded by Exorcism. So that'll happen. As a good move from Viking and much needed space for Shad, as nearly has Manta done. It does need quite a lot more.
All right, finally the game spicing up a little bit there. OG, I guess as well, with the sort of the relaxed positioning they had there between their players, their heroes. I probably felt that the game was incredibly, in an incredibly comfortable position. With the lead that they have, it's still, it is rather comfortable.
It is still.
But definitely shaken up a little bit there, and having to maybe give a bit more respect to what Viking can still do, despite the heavy gold deficit that they're playing with.
And maybe not showing like 3 different lanes when the ultis are up. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like the Viking cooldowns are pretty long, so as long as you're not split up on that timing of when they're all up, you should be pretty okay on OG. It's only if you get caught out when everything is up, as they quickly eviscerate a Roche. That's going to be the Berserk Potion, I believe, for the Alchemist, and also the Shard taken for the Drow.
They're ready to get themselves back in action. Celery borrowed time still on cooldown. See about and gone. See how much OG want to push the aggression now that they have the rewards of Roshan. Samael come barreling straight down the mid lane. They want to try and approach the high ground.
It's definitely time to approach high ground. Ult's still on cooldown for a slight moment. I think Honky at 20 seconds. He acts as well on this Razor, so you can pop out that ulti as soon as this tower goes down to go for the Raxus if he'd like to. And Seb is always sitting behind with that Berserk Potion. So 2 different forms of save now on the side of OG. Massive wraparound. Look at Viking right now.
It was these sort of moves that did hit the hardest in game 1.
They're pinging No-Tail. They know his positioning, even though he's shadow emulated right now.
Let's see what they can do. They come out with a horn, look towards him straight away to get the jump in over towards No-Tail. No-Tail is going to be able to be pushed over to the side. No-Tail will survive here, but they have brought down Samael for once. They'll try and surround him. Boom, coming in with the BKBs, got the siphons as well, healing himself back up. No-Tail with the self-false promise will live a little longer. The buyback coming out as Aramis. He's able to lead in onto Samael with the stun. Shad getting beat down hard here by Saxa though, as Shad has to retreat up to the high ground. Samael's able to turn, take out Aramis. The light strike away from Saxa, catches the 2 of them. 4 dead on Viking, as 3 of them without buyback. OG, they can push on, start to do the damage to the base. They should and can look to close this. Onto the tier 4s. Viking without the buybacks. Very little to be done about this. If they tried their best to hit back whilst they were as far behind as they were, it just didn't come close to mattering whatsoever, as OG able to still finish them off here at the fast timing of 27 minutes. Low kills, but high farm and a very high lead here for OG. 32k lead they end it with. As with that, the series is theirs. OG, they'll be taking this best of 3, 2-1.